Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Downtime of the Hangar where we talk about all things GBO2 and hopefully not tangent this time.
Yeah, we're gonna try, but no guarantees.
Today I'm joined by Gustav the 13th.
Yep,
So, how was your past week? Or weeks,
it
I
was
guess. How's your
busy.
month? I
It
should
was
say
a
month now.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been busy. Just trying to. Like, we finished up Fist of the North Star, and then I needed an in-betweener game, so we ended up doing Final Fantasy 14 for a little bit until SRW 30 or Super Robot Wars 30 dropped the other day. So we did the first part of that, and besides that, just trying to keep up with GBO2. A lot of updates. Most of that, we're gonna be talking about very soon. And clan matches, which we've been placing. Still trying to keep up
Congrats.
into the silver banner since we hit 40th on one of those, especially since I think this one and the next one are going to be top 40. So fingers crossed that we can hold ourselves in there.
Good luck. Also,
But yeah, what about you?
well, I do have a question. What do you think about 14?
14's been fun. I'm doing a lot of just like the base game stuff right now since I'm on the trial and whatnot. But I've enjoyed it. I played a lot of MMOs in the past. Like I've done a lot of WoW. I've done like Guild Wars when it first came out. I wanted to do 11, but my older like family computer back in those days when I was younger was kind of potato. But even just checking out like the benchmark and stuff was pretty cool since it would show like feeds of people running around and stuff. So I've always been interested in it. I've just, especially since I'm doing streaming and stuff now, like unless I'm gonna dedicate my channel to it, or at least a lot of time to it, I was like, well, I can't really do this. But having it be like a filler game in between was just a good opportunity to just kind of get in there for myself for a little bit. So that was nice. I had one less day of it than I thought because SRW dropped like in the middle of the 27th as opposed to the fucking 28th, which I think was the original date. And I was like, what happened to that? I was like, oh well. But
Right.
I still enjoyed it. I'll probably go back to it, but like I'm gonna be pretty busy for my secondary. SRW 30 is gonna take a billion years. And then from there, we're also going to be probably doing Judgment and Lost Judgment since I'm like way late on both of those. And I have my PS5 now, so like
Yeah.
performance wise, it's going to run fine.
Also, what do you think of SRW?
It's been good. I mean, currently, right now, we're still in the demo stuff, so hopefully we can get into some of the other stuff a little bit sooner rather than later, but we'll see. But yeah, I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I've played a fair amount of Cross Rays. This is like both more complicated and simpler in some respects. But I've enjoyed my time so far.
Yeah, I probably will start on that. I don't know. I'm at too many games, and then now I got actually to have SRW 30, and I'm like, oh no,
Shit.
I need more time. So I'm gonna like probably. I think I'm gonna try to just dedicate a day and have it on the schedule that day sometime. Just period. Like 2 hours of like I don't know, a Tuesday or something is gonna be.
Mm.
I don't know what day, but just someday.
Yeah, the bigger thing for me in terms of like what I want to stream and what I gotta do is just like I gotta spend some of that time doing deliveries now to keep up the money, so
Yeah,
can't really be messing around as much as I was before.
but um, but yeah, and then as far as what I've been doing, you know, Tarkov, more of that, of course. New World, that
Mhm.
that was a thing. Was that a thing last time? I can't remember
I
now at
want
this
to say
point.
yeah.
But I'm trying to
You've
like,
been at it for a while for New World, but I don't know. Are you still doing it now, considering like POE and all this other stuff that's coming up?
well, the thing with New World is I'm already maxed out. Uh,
Is like all the content done?
well, I haven't done all the content. There's still like two dungeons, and there's pretty much everybody. The only thing we really have to do is take over a city, and once we take over a city, that's pretty much kind of like the in-game goal at this point. Because other than doing
Mhm.
the content, for me, that content will be there. People are catching up. I kind of, I did like one dungeon off stream just because it was um, like you couldn't progress the story without it being done. So I was just
Uh,
like, okay, I'll just get it done, and then we can just, I'll do the next one or whatever. Well, then they had another one, and I was just like, well, darn it, this is awkward
Where is
timing
she?
because I didn't have the extra time to get that, and I pretty much was trying to get up there to help everybody out and whatnot that needed it. So the higher you get, the better kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, but now literally the markets are crashing because there's deflation, not inflation, deflation. And so pretty much that happens every now and then in games,
Like the
because
resources have been farmed so hard that it's like inundated.
well, there's no way, there's no actual like spot that you can go to be like, I'm gonna farm gold, so I'm gonna kill these 500 dudes, and that way I have a ton of gold.
Mm,
You can't do that. There's no way to do that. There's very few things that actually put money back into the game, and there's things taking money out of it. So people are just saving their money and hoarding it, and then you end up with a case where it's like you have, you know, the people who own the towns having a lot of money if they can make money off their town, first of all, and their taxes are high enough. So
mm,
first, are they making money off the town? Then, people are just yeah, yeah. And then resources go down since nobody's buying, they keep lowering the price and everybody's undercutting each other because people aren't buying them fast enough. So then you end up with everybody, since there's no minimal price, everybody's putting it to
yeah.
0.01 gold.
Oh shit.
And so you can just buy resources for nothing. So, it's again, it's a little hyperbolic because it's one of those things where even though it's technically true, it's you know, it I mean, you can't buy the same weapon you have if you have a best in slot, right? For
Mm,
cheaper than you can repair it. But you could technically buy a weapon for less than what you could repair it for.
that's weird.
Yeah.
That's
So,
fucky.
yeah. And that's especially on big servers where there's a lot of people putting it more and more into the market, and that's where a problem comes in. So I mean that's a thing. So, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things like right now I only make money at the game, and I'm waiting for some people to do it with to actually kind of stream the content, and then we'll go from there. But
Mhm.
until then, unless there's a random war that because it's random too. So if you compete or if you participate, and that's literally just doing one run on the map, which takes 10 minutes. If you do that, your guild has a chance to declare war. So when it's time for you to be allowed to declare war, you could get randomly selected. I've been randomly selected 2 or 3 times right now, but I just didn't have the money on hand to do it. So now I'm really prepared because you have like 10 seconds and that's it. So like, if I know it's about to happen, I've been locking in, and I'll just like I've got my buy orders all ready. So if I just cancel one, then I can just get my money back. So I normally stand next to a market, so I can just be like, cancel, boom, accept,
Mhm.
spend money, right? And the funny thing is going to be like, then I have to actually lead a Discord of like 50 people to victory
Oh god.
without having to do it once yet. So I'm waiting for that kind of rage train. That'll be funny. So I might stream that somehow. But
Right. The PvP, I'm assuming, is what people are probably gonna fuck around with when they get more stuff. And I think at this point, that's gonna be what it takes, right? To
I mean,
just like, because even if you're not having the problem with like content, it's because you don't have people to like deal with. Other people are already done with all of it, and they were already having articles about like the influx of players falling down.
and that's what I was gonna
While
say next. Yeah, exactly.
so like earlier, it was like people couldn't get in fast enough, and the queues actually turned a lot of those people away too.
Yeah,
On top of the fact that people that were already getting through it, especially if they knew them, were like, "Yeah, the content's kind of dried up already." Like, I think they wanted to get into it, and they're pushing their Amazon like game page and all that stuff too. Um, and New World is like front and center, of course. But I think they underestimated, as MMO people tend to do, just how fast people are gonna get through that shit.
yeah. Well, I mean, not only just how fast people got through it, but then the other problem of just like PvP only keeps people interested till they've kind of felt satisfied that they've won, and then it gets boring, and then people quit. So that's also happened too. So and then also groups aren't able to get together. So friends that I have are on a completely different, and you can't go from East Coast to West Coast. You can only do a server transfer when they implement it on West Coast to another West Coast server, which kind of sucks. because a lot of people made a character on the East Coast because there wasn't as long wait times, where they made it on the West Coast because there wasn't as long
And they're
wait times.
stuck over there.
And now you're kind of stuck over there, and it's like either now it's just like make a new character, or yeah. So that's another problem. So there's so many groups that's divided that everybody's just getting bored, and they're like, well, we have 3 people in our group here, 4 people in our group there. We could have a group of 200, but I mean, we're all spread out. Oh well, everybody bored yet? And that's the other problem. They handled this really poorly at allowing people to get, able to transfer to be able to play with each other. But I mean, they kind of have to be strict because these days there's these communities, and there would be literally a 20,000 person community get on one server, and it would break. So I mean, there's that point as well, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
so it kind of just sucks all the way around with that. But anyway, but yeah, New World stuff
Meanwhile,
thing.
there's always the amazing
Yeah,
world of
yeah,
playing MMORPG Final Fantasy 14.
yeah.
That's about to get a new expansion, by the way. So they better,
Exactly.
whatever they're gonna do, they better do it quick. They're trying to keep people's interest. Otherwise, there's gonna be another 14 surge,
Oh yeah,
and they're gonna lose all of that headway they had.
and that's another thing I should probably get getting caught up on is
Yep, the
14.
card.
Too many games. Not the worst thing to have. But yeah, and then Path of Exile launch was great. But they've killed it this league. It is amazing. Like, yeah, great launch.
Oh shit.
The whole league is awesome. Like they didn't just nerf things and make it completely harder, but they did come out with aspirational content instead, right? So they didn't make the base game harder. They just made the ceiling higher of content,
Okay.
but not in a way that I think to where they have to do it again and again and again. Like they came out with Uber content for everything that already exists, but I don't think they necessarily have to make an Uber later on, because that's what they were talking about. If they try to do too much of that, then they're afraid it's gonna. So yeah, so Path of Exile, great time to get in. Oh, they actually finally. It's been 8 years, but they finally added new guild content. They
Hey.
finally were like, "Hey guys, we remember guilds exist." So yeah, so that's kind of cool. So we actually have actual guild
That shit.
content to where you can have a guild hideout and things like that. Pokemon Unite is awesome. The squirrel came out. The squirrel's broken.
Squirrel.
Yeah, I don't know actually what it is. Maybe it's a chipmunk of some sort. I don't know. Either way,
Pachirisu or something?
Green Ant,
Oh, the other one.
Greet it.
My old ass saying Pachi, but yeah, it's probably from another generation.
Oh my gosh! And see, you say squirrel, and you said that, and I'm like, what is that even? Like, yeah, I'm like 150, and I'm old school, man. Like that's yeah.
If anything, I'm a fogey with what I just pulled out of my ass.
I know, right?
God
That's the
damn.
funny part. It's like I'm like 150, and that's it, right?
The funny thing is that I saw an ad about it too, and I totally forgot.
But yeah, the squirrel's out. It pretty much belch, which is an AoE cone, can deal like half of something's HP, and it's a tank. And you can
Greedent,
also
fat ass. Oh, fat ass squirrel. Yeah, Asian
yeah
just said it in chat. Greedent.
yeah you can heal yourself pretty much to full from like a fourth of your health.
The
You
fat
can
boy.
belch on people in a giant AoE cone and deal like half their health, and you can do it twice. And if it has eaten like 5 like acorns or nuts, whatever I don't know, the berries or whatever it throws out.
It's like stalks and then like barfs it out.
Yeah, and then belch it, but then it lowers the cooldown to like one
Hmm.
second. So you're just like belch, belch, and you just like 100 to 0 somebody with
Plus,
that.
you get rewarded for loading up. That's cool.
Yeah, but the it does have an intensify ability. You have Seed Barrage, and I'm
Oh,
like,
intensify!
yes, this is my character. Except for the Seed Barrage kind of sucks.
This is my creature.
But you deja vu. You literally drift.
Like,
Like
so
the
it's definitely
character.
for movement while doing damage or
Well, that's
whatever.
the other one. So you got movement speed with drift, and you can do Seed Barrage or Belch. So you got Seed Barrage or Belch, or a burst heal or movement, and you heal a little bit. Can't be like DC, I don't think, while you're doing it, and you have Drifto. So it gets rid of the negative of the Belch having to stand still. You have to do super commit stance to do Belch.
Oof.
But if you do the movement one, you've got drifting belch, which is again a giant AoE cone. So you're like belch belch, and you just like killed 3 people, and you're moving on, and you're out, and then
Ah.
you just drive by belch people to death. It's ridiculous. And then if you ult, it gives you
Then it evolves into fat fuck.
for
Fucking
like
nation.
10
Oh my
seconds.
god.
Oh no. But for like 10 seconds, when you ult, you have unlimited speeds. So you just belch, belch, belch,
Ooh.
belch, 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 belch as you're drifting
Just
along.
barfing range at people. Like, let's go.
And like each one of those again does like half health. Like they have to nerf that by like 50% of its damage.
That motherfucker came out of that corner like he had a charge attack ready. Like, no, you're not. You're a regular Nero.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah. Too many games, stuff and things. Tarkov is awesome. They're resetting. They're also resetting in like December. So like I'm like, okay, well, I got to get this done, then this done, then this done. So yeah. And then now I want to get to SRW. But yeah. Anyway, Gundam things. Speaking of SRW, Gundam things.
Yeah, because Goondoom's in there.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and what
That's
did
my
we?
fucking face, you jerk.
Let's see. That would
Oh,
be, I guess, the 7th
no.
or the 14th. No, wait. What was before
What
the
do you mean?
Gallus K? What's the first suit are we at here? We need a on previous
Ooh,
suit.
actually, it was before the Gals K. Was that the custom or was that? Did we land at the custom? I think we did the
Yeah,
custom
Beerlunt
last time.
Custom,
Then there, what was after that?
the Gallus K.
Okay, so I had the Violent, but I have it on Ginny. I just got it yesterday. Fucking finally.
So go ahead and bring it up. Just a picture. Gallus K. What do we have after that?
Nope.
Barzam Custom.
I didn't realize how low we were. Oh, good.
Okay, so the main thing with the Beerlunt, um, oh, the window's not up, but yeah. The main thing with the Beerlunt though for me is it's a 4-star. Like what? That's
Yeah,
also a 600 cost?
it's pretty hype. I mean, it's got piercing shots. Its actual range feels like it does a decent amount now without you having to like pump it too much. Um, Heavy stagger, pretty quick on the claw on top of having the heavy swing that pretty much sails you across the map for the sabers. Like, there's a lot of shit going on with that suit. It was definitely prominent during its debut clan matches as well.
Yeah, I think it's actually really good with that fact that you can heavy swing and also, at worst, just get knocked out of the
Yeah,
sky.
like if you don't give a shit about headhunting with the heavy, you can just strike your shit. You can just smack the fuck out of people all day. Like, it doesn't matter.
I still think this thing is actually pretty insanely strong.
Oh yeah,
But I know there's some people that are just like, Beerlunt, no. But I think it's just kind of I think it's rating. I think it's one of those kind of things where it's like the goof, right? Where, you know, if a B player takes it in, it's like rip. But if
yeah.
somebody who knows what they're doing can take this, it's. I think this thing's terrifying.
It's also just one of those things where like, as a 4-star suit, it was kind of hard to get. There were a bunch of people that got it in the first week just because of the slight boosted like thing, and then after that it became a pain in the ass. So like, you saw a bunch of it during those first few days, and people just learned it really fast. Because they had to. They had to learn how to deal with this not only in like higher rating, but as they were climbing.
Um. Also, was it a? Did it have? Trying to find its skills here. Well, I guess I could go over some of the
Crater, where's my
weapons.
Stark J and BB? Someday, some magical day, it'll happen. Just not today.
Okay, so just from some of the stats here, got the wiki pulled up. We have 19,000 and 20,500 health. One and
Mm.
two. 31 going to 35 for both range resist, and then 10 to 12 for the melee resist. Kind of odd that it has such low Melee resist,
Yeah.
but yeah,
They
that's
had to,
that's
they
kind
had
of
to
rough.
have it. Well, it's weird because I want to say like they had to give it something kind of whack, but at the same time, it's already raid, so
Yeah, I know. So that one's like, wait a minute, and then you're gonna be hit by what kind of melee coming out of some of these
yeah.
generals? Oh no,
Like Tristan's are just salivating the second they see you come out of the sky or get stunned out
right?
of your flight. Like, yours, give it to me.
Yeah, and they actually have enough time with their slow swing to swing and hit you by the time you hit the ground.
Just straight up.
But
Not to mention, like, they're also gonna be the ones shooting at you, like beam into Gatling to try to get you out of the sky and shit.
right. But yeah, 40 and 44 for the melee damage. Oh, sorry, shooting damage, and 25 and 28 for the range. Or, I think I just said that backwards. Shooting damage. Oh,
Yeah.
shooting damage is 40 to 44, and melee damage is 25 to 28. There we go. Ah,
Hmm.
there we go. So it is kind of range intensive as far as the base stats go. And even with, but I mean, then again, you got a ton of like close range slots. Just spam it with melee parts. So 140 speed, 235 high speed, thrusters 85, turning speed 84. The Okay, this is just random other stuff. 20 then goes to 22, 12 to 13, and 12 to 13 for the parts. Then the melee corrections on it, 100%. This is for the saber, 100%, 80%, then 64, and then uh, for the claw and heavy attack, it says, well, you only get one swing. So I was kind of expecting two swings since they kind of had the swing on the Masala, but
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
heavy attack though also is 135% times two, 270 total gross.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and on the claw, a downswing is 200% damage. Neutral and horizontal is 100%. And then we have, looks like the standard on saber, 100%, 85, and then 130 on downswing.
Oh, so Rock is asking about the what do you think about 4 stars having 7-step guaranteed drop? Will this be a thing from now on? Doesn't bother me too much. I mean, it doesn't really bother me too much either. It probably will be. I'd be surprised if it wasn't, just because like they're definitely gonna reserve that for things that have either been asked about a lot or things that are they just want to keep rare between like other big drops. Like Bioline Custom coming out when it did is kind of weird, but also interesting just because like there wasn't anything big surrounding it. But I don't know, what can you do, right? It's nice that they can have those and make 4-star drops like in events in and of themselves, more or less. I think that's kind of the aim that they're going for here.
Yeah, I do like that you can have the step up if you've been saving the tokens. Cool. Um, it
Because
would
I mean, we're
be,
talking about less than a percent rate for the actual drop rate for them themselves. Sometimes it feels like it's higher than that, just because I've gotten like multiple Sazabis or like news and shit, and that's kind of funny. But like in general, it's gonna be tough to get them. Oh god.
I think it would be cool though if they kind of extended it to other banners somehow.
I mean, they've done it for 3 stars in the past, or like holiday banners, right?
Yeah, so
Bigger drops. So,
maybe like 6 steps for a 3, 5 steps for a 2 or something. They
hmm
want to value them like that kind of thing.
they probably just stick with the 7. Let's be honest. If
Yeah,
they
I
can
mean
get
that's
away
what they
with
would.
it, they probably
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
fuck with it too much if they didn't have to.
and they probably wouldn't have to with some. So fair enough.
Yeah.
Um, I will say though, does this feel like a 4 star with that kind of like?
It feels like it at level 1. I'm always Very surprised to see people bring it into 650 or beyond. It's like you got some balls on you. But I think at its actual base cost, it feels like one. It does a lot of crazy shit. The bigger problem is the same issues in terms of just like raid issues. It's gonna earn a lot of people's ire very quickly. People are gonna prioritize it and all that shit. But when it actually gets into its rhythm, it's pretty monstrous. And there's gonna be a lot of moments where you're in the middle of a fight and then suddenly you just hear swoosh and you die and you're like, I stop fucking violent again.
Yep.
So it's doing its job still.
As a support player, I normally am like, okay, well, we got one of those in here. Okay, I gotta be ready. Gotta be okay. Oh, yeah. Get wrecked. I'm bullying this general over here.
And
And then like just just up at my top right corner of my screen, I just see a red arrow going 500 miles an hour at me, and I'm like, no, no, I
you
can't
just hear
rotate.
the you
So I'm
just
just
hear
like,
the fucking the charge. Oh
yeah.
no.
So I just go ahead and tackle just to tackle, and then like I turn around and just eat a beam saber.
Either a
So
beam or just a bunch of beep 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 beep. Beep.
yeah.
It's also really funny how like quiet its shots are.
Oh yeah, right.
Very low key, but also they pierce, which is pretty neat. So
Oh wait, they do. Okay, cool. That's what I was gonna look at next. So the main weapon stuns, pretty decent damage. 2100 and then 2200 for both levels. Stuns on hit. Uh, then we got the custom mega particle cannons times 2, 33 shot overheat, 8% stun value, 13 hits. And then, yeah, like the penetration, I didn't know about that. That's pretty awesome. 250 damage. Yeah, that's fires pretty quick too. 450 shots a minute. So those are pretty solid actually. I didn't think they were that much, but I guess that's one reason why I just kind of melt all of a sudden. Then we have the arm claw, which has 3,000 and then 3,150 damage, and it's a heavy stun. Gross. um,
yeah, it's one of those things where like I don't know if it definitely has a bigger profile than a regular violent, but unless you know that you're gonna be able to hit somebody that's gonna approach you or hit you from the outside, maybe don't get too intimate with your melee. Trying to cycle between the claw and like the sabers. I think that's why a lot of people tend to headhunt still.
I'm glad that it does have some good ranged options though. So I was like, "Where's all this range? Like, what? Like it has 4 weapons. Like is the sub beam like particle cannons actually that good?" But no, they look pretty solid. That was kind of my thing with it. I'm like, so it's got all this range stuff, but it has just like the main beam and then apparently a 33 shot overheat. I'm like, that, yeah, 8% stun value. That's pretty nice actually. Um, for skills though, it has Assault Booster 3. Oh,
Mm.
wait a minute. Am I looking at the right? Um, yeah, I think that's dodge roll. Yeah, okay, so it does have dodge roll level 3 at level 2. That's kind of interesting. Okay, I can deal with that.
Like it's boosted from level 1.
Yeah, level 1 it has level 2, so it has double dodge roll, but then it has level 3 double dodge roll at level 2. So that's kind of hype actually. Then you can get dodge
Get like
roll
an
off.
extra action out of it, yeah.
Yeah, do some stuff in between, then do 2 more dodge rolls if you time it right. Or can hold off from having to do a second one. Force Injector, level 2, High Performance Balancer, Aerial Control Program 3, Performance Handback, Flight Control, level 1. Um, then it has, oh yeah, melee, 3 melees, heavy attack, Then it has the high performance counter, which just looks like it's going to be on all 4 stars. And then maneuver armor 2, explosive resistance, so you don't get stunned when a dude explodes. And then it has the buffers that you would expect to have. Actually, the cool part here is the shoulder cushion is level 3, so it actually is 30% reduced damage. That's actually really
Mm, very good. It's funny that a lot of people are kind of so about some of the heavy like counters or
yeah.
special counters. It's just like I don't know what you're expecting here, like full on like fatalities or some shit, but like it'll do you and it's gonna hurt. So
You get special counter mode, you 100 to 0 somebody. That's that's how it should be. What?
like you fool.
Okay. Anything else with the skills and stuff? I mean, again, I've already been terrified of it now at this point. Having sat on it and seen it play, it is gross and disgusting in the right hands. And then I will say it is kind of funny though when it's just like somebody flies up, you know, duck hunted down, and then everybody just runs in and is like, mine, 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 dead. So, but I think on the top end, this thing is definitely top tier.
They couldn't pick my anime clip to copy, so they just combined all three. Yeah,
Wait,
yeah, they
what?
just made it super hype. The custom counters especially fuck because they couldn't pick what anime clip to copy, so they just combined all three.
Oh. I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever seen one counter, so I'm like,
like the
yeah, I'm
Schneids
kind of
made
curious.
sense because they just copied it from when it was fighting the what was it, fighting the striker, I think, or the semi, which is funny because they could reenact that now. But moving on.
So Gallus K now is
Oh,
next.
good old Gallus K. So it definitely stuck in there. Not as much as I think they thought it was gonna, but I don't know. It's interesting. I didn't get it.
I didn't get it either, but I mean, it was one of those that I was like, I couldn't recommend for sure after kind of seeing it perform.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's 500, 550. Um,
It'd be scary at 400.
yeah, exactly. Like I just feel like it was like too high of a cost here. The like apparently it has the downswing of like a Dom kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's better than just eh, punch. I wouldn't mind the shoulder tackle.
I mean, I
Uh,
wouldn't mind it if it actually did like heavy Sega or whatever, but it still had to eat.
yeah, right. But health I think is, I mean, the weird part is the defensive stats like kind of meh. Like at 500, 550, yes, it does go up quite a bit at 550, thank goodness. But 16,500, 18,000 health, 21, 21, 13, and then at level 2, 23, 23, 14. So it barely goes up. Defensive, surprised about. Then the actual damage on it, 30 and 35 in correction, and the melee correction, 17, 20.
Mm-hmm.
Speed is 115. Definitely slow boy. Also kind of like, we're at 500
Unfortunate.
and 550, guys. Hello. And then you have thrusters 70, which is actually really nice. We can boost around quite a bit. That is the main thing it has going for it, is you can reposition, and it seems like they're doing that a lot more recently. I will say that that's one of my complaints with the Gigan actually, but we can talk about that one. Um, turning speed is 63, and then um, as priority one. For part
Yeah,
slots, it's 721 and 8. All the mid-range part slots, reload, all the things. Something,
just dumping health on it and stuff like
I
that.
guess.
Move it all on.
Oh yeah, that's right. The resist is what everybody, I think, what a lot of people
Yeah.
are going with. Um,
Beam or whatever the heavier resist on mid are.
yeah. And then the level 2 is 8, 22, and 10. Um, I mean, nothing really does bad damage, but nothing really is crazy.
Overwhelming. And
Yeah.
that's the thing, like these kind of weapons worked out on the lower cost use that they're from, just because things didn't move that fast and it didn't really take a lot of output to kill things. So like, just dumping all this out in tandem with your type advantage against like generals or whatever you're supposed to be attacking, and just having that beam on top of that. It should be on paper, it should be good because you're literally just stacked, right? You have a decent amount of boost and all that other shit going on, but like in practice, it's kind of hard to pin people down. Like you really have to be in like a congested spot and have people on the floor and just hope that you can like cycle through your stuff.
I mean, one of my biggest problems that like you can use the giant bazooka, but when am I ever going to use the giant bazooka over the rifle? Personally,
I
I
guess if you're just used to it, I don't know,
maybe,
because like
but
it's ballistic damage, but you also have the beam rifle also has an extra like volley of missiles that can stun by themselves
yeah.
if you get them all on somebody, or you can just hit them in tandem with like another part of your cycle and stun them anyway while doing more damage.
I mean, like
So
if a
I'd
raid's
probably do
coming
it.
at you,
The
then
thing I have about its rifle is that it's so low impact. There's like not a lot of feedback for the beam itself, which positionally kind of fucks me up. So like maybe being slower would actually help for me actually land that more. Because typically I'm just throwing down volume of fire, like quick shot, get them to start moving around, and then you do the missiles into like the chest missiles, and then just move on from there.
I have a lot of aiming issues, so I could. But yeah, I guess there is the volley of. I guess that was kind of the thing is like, what kind of combo does this thing do? Yeah, I think it's do the missile pod, um, and it's just the 4 volley, which also has 35% stagger value. Kind of nice actually. So,
Hmm.
oh wait, no, sorry, that's the missile pod attached. Wait, the other one. Here we go.
Yeah, to
Here's
keep
the
it all
4-shot
straight
volley.
because there's a bunch of it on there.
Yeah, yeah. Here we go. Here's the 4-shot volley. So I had to scroll down. Um, okay, so the 12 shots. Um, oh, is it just a full machine gun? I thought it was an actual volley.
What do you mean?
So yeah, yeah, it's just a triple. The triple missile pod is just straight. Oh no, the big gun. There we go. There we go. Now I've
Yeah.
got it. Okay, cool. There we go. So the big gun, luckily, does some decent damage. Um, but the stagger value is only 5. So you have almost no build-up stun. That's right. There we go. That's my complaint. Because the beam cannon's 20%. Uh, if you do the bazooka, then that's 20% and 80%, and then you need something else just to get that extra stun potential out. So here, let me just go down the weapons one by one. They're trying to jump around for stagger value. We have giant bazooka, 80% stagger value, 1700 damage. The beam rifle only has a 25% stagger value, but it has 1850 damage. Range is the same on both of them. The beam rifle does come with the benefit of having the missile pod attached to it, which has 35% stagger value and shots. It's just like a Zeta and arm grenade. Same thing, only different. Um, then you have punch, not too bad. Then the beam cannon. It has 6 shots, which is for um, the ammo based. Wait a minute. Then 2,000 damage, 2,100 damage for level 1 and 2. Uh, 20 stagger value. Uh, and you do commit stance. Well, then you have the triple missile pod with 150 damage. It has 12 bullets, 15% stagger value, so that's kind of nice. You can actually get a decent stun out of that. But my problem is that's just like the HML. You know, the HML, the launcher on its arm, pretty
Hmm.
much that. And I don't know about you, but I have a time hitting that. Just
Yeah.
a
Also, I think the travel time between those is very different because typically it was even hard to do it on the desert.
yeah. So maybe that might need to be brought up a little bit. Um, and then the big gun is your follow up. So you stun with the beam rifle, you follow up with a big gun. You stun with the cannon, you follow up with a big gun. So it's one of those. It's old, very old school. You do one thing and then you do a follow up ranged attack. Rotate to your next stun. So it's not like stun, stun, and then do the damage. Stun damage, stun damage. Rotating back and forth kind of really kind of the way to go with it. And again, it fires a volley, which is kind of different for the big gun. So that's kind of cool. You have a volley of 4 shots, 450 damage, 472 at level 2, but you have to reload after 2 sets of that, and then gotta rely on tripod missile thing for the action like filler after that. And I don't know, that just I mean it's very old school kind of play style, back to the
Yeah.
Stardew Cannon or even, something that
Almost a
is
little
close to
too
its
old
cost.
school, which is like what we were trying to get at before.
Yeah, and that's the real problem. Like I mean, there's a reason why the full armor type B just completely overshadows the full armor gun.
And that's already saying something because the full armor B has issues too
Yeah,
with being too slow.
so that's what this literally just felt like was a full armor type B with even kind of less weapons going for
Hmm.
it.
It has less with more, which is the funnier part.
Yeah, I guess it has a better consistent. Well, after the buff, I don't know. I kind of like that missile pod on the type B now.
Mm. No,
Uh,
that's what I'm saying. Like the Type B actually has, I think it has less stuff compared to the K, but the K stuff isn't as substantial as each weapon
oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
on the B. And part of that, yeah, it did come because of the adjustments, but it all depends. We'll see where it goes. They'll probably do adjustments on it. So not bad. We did see some in clans, but they weren't super prominent, of course.
And just to cover them real quick, skills are pretty much exactly what you'd expect. The bare standard support stuff, nothing too crazy. For some reason, you have when you aim down your sight, your radar. I guess that's cool. Uh, Again, you're gonna want to try to follow up in combo, but I guess in those really long range situations, you can beam cannon and aim and that extra damage. I guess. Um,
You heard it,
and
I guess.
then other than that, it also has anti stealth one. Weird.
Yeah,
But
a little appreciated.
yeah,
I mean, at that cost, it still needs it to kind of do stuff, but a little weird.
kind of random. I was like, what? But yeah. Uh, so yeah. Any other thoughts on it? Mine pretty much. I think it needs a little bit more of a buff, but
Yeah,
it's definitely. I want it. Support.
yeah, it's serviceable. I wouldn't be too mad if you see one on your team since it can do stun looping between its cannon and its main gun, whichever one it chooses. Um, don't go too crazy on the rotation unless you know that you have a lot of people that are like tied up and that can't look at you. But in general, you should do fine.
Okay, next we have the refined Barzam, Barzam Kai.
The Barzam Photoshop.
Yes, the Photoshop Barzam, and I wish I had more time today. I was gonna actually try to Photoshop it together with the
Just
two
put it like little
banners.
pieces.
Yeah, just like take the middle set, like where there's all the fire and bullets going off on the sides. I was gonna like try to take the two banners and put them together, see what I could come up with. But Yeah. Or just like take them in the hangar and kind of face them the same way and like up close, kind of clip them that way. But yeah,
Berserk puts it pretty well. Barzan Custom is remarkable for being unremarkable. It definitely is like the gym custom of Barzams, which is funny because the Barzam is already kind of that for the Mark II.
yeah, it's kind of interesting. I still have to go with after I kind of started looking at it a bit more. I still have to say, I think this thing at 500 completely obliterates the Barzam. That's right. I was will translate it
I've run it
Barzam.
before, and I'll probably try it again here, but like in general, even though it's nice to have a bit more of a solid stun and stuff, uh, the grenade is kind of here or there in terms of how much I can nail with it. Sometimes I really do miss the extra output that the Barzam has since they just geared it for ranged more anyway.
Well,
And the bigger thing here is that unlike the melee strength is actually balanced with the range strength, so you can do well with both. And it
yeah.
has generally the same kind of swingage to it. So that part's good. I can dig that.
Well, I
But
actually did some testing. I was curious about the damage thing, and because I was like, wait a minute, 4 shots. But I thought it overheated on 3 with the Barzam, so my math was off because when I actually started actually testing, you
mm,
can get 4 before it overheats. So,
yeah.
and where on this, you can get 5 before it overheats. I was like, okay, well, that's a lot better than the math, but I only had 4 for over. Anyway, so technically, they're roughly about the same. Like the overall damage beam rifles is pretty close.
If
Um,
we're talking about like it without any parts and stuff.
this is also with parts. So like I did one without and then kind of one with. Obviously, it may vary depending on what kind of parts
Mm,
you are working with. Um, but as far as the without parts, they were still pretty close. Like it's the extra damage that you're getting because you get an extra shot of something that doesn't have that much less damage is actually pretty. So you're hitting about 1800 per shot with the Barzan beam rifle, and you're hitting about like 14, 16 with the new one that we have. Taking an even lower number with that extra shot. You got 400 more per shot. It pretty much like winter difference, or it's yeah, it's pretty much the same thing once you add in Vulcan damage that it can be doing. My thing is though is having that consistent stun with the grenade, and the grenade has 4 shots before it has to reload, which is
that's the cool
huge
part.
for a
Because it's
grenade.
literally just an underslung hyper bazooka.
Yeah,
So it can just have extra shots. That's the coolest part about that gun.
and yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. That's the big thing with it. It has 4 shots, and it's 5 second intervals, so it's not even like the full like 6 second problem. So it's
Mm,
like 5 seconds combo with it very well, and the Vulcans do good damage on both because they're literally the exact same thing.
yeah.
So they're pretty much the same deal, but the damage goes to the favor of the normal Barzam. So I would have to say, damage-wise, they're actually about the same. So I can't really say one's better in that respect. Um, technically, if you were using the shrapnel bazooka, I guess, then the normal Barzam wins because it's
Mm,
literally the same weapon that just has more output.
more output, like just straight more stat.
But
Yeah, I mean the bigger thing here is that like if you just want a balanced version of the Mark II, then I guess you just do the refine. But if you just want more priority and general aggression, you'd probably just play Mark II at that point anyway.
yeah, well, if you can also get your melees in, then this has more damage. But assuming you're just playing the range kind of like my play style, where I'm like, I could probably go hit that guy, but I'm gonna keep hitting him. Then they pretty much have the same damage output. So that was kind of nice. The reason why I'm sold on this thing though, it has a shield. First of all, now there is the situation where I'll give you that if it breaks,
Yeah, get a free stun out of you, and also
Could die.
because it's a bigger suit next to the actual Mark II that shield comes from, it doesn't really cover as much of its body.
That is true. But I have been saved quite a few times with it compared to just Barzam. Like, I don't have to worry about hitting a shield when I'm playing as a support again. I don't know. That's kind of a for me. I think that's a big. I love having a shield. When it breaks in the wrong point, that could be a detriment. But I don't know. I'll take that risk as a raid. You never want to take that. Why
Absolutely not.
them adding that skill is
At least
terrifying.
until they, which is amazing.
Well, I mean, the problem is the shield just breaks because it takes more damage too. It's just like, it can get one shot half the time.
Oh
Whereas if
shit.
you're playing it as a general, other generals shooting you, you're probably going to take at least a few hits, right? Especially if it's their stun bazooka or beam rifle that's not doing the full health at all, right? Now maybe a
Mhm.
support can pop it pretty quick. There's that. Also, though, and here's my other reason why I say this one's better defense wise, double dodge. Like I I have to give it bonus points for the double dodge. Like that is insane for this thing to have two dodge rolls. Like defense value on it goes way up.
Let's see. That being said, it's interesting that recently, at least when I've been doing stuff at its cost range, I saw an uptick on it when it first came in, and now I'm just seeing more power, like Gen 3 powereds, which is a little weird. And honestly, when I'm doing stuff on Gus, which is when I'm like sweating and stuff, typically still just sticking to Gen 3 normal, just because it has more variable like ranges on its attacks and stuff.
What else does it have to compete with at its cost? That is a good point. I mean, again, it's more of a range suit anyway. Even though it's got balanced stats, you've got so much range option damage, especially
The
those
fact that they
bulk.
make it a balance means that it actually gets pitted up against a lot of other stuff, though.
Um, I mean, I guess you still have the meta boys, right? That I don't know. I think this almost has a little bit more utility though. I like the stun on the grenade. I like the beam rifle itself is pretty solid. Hits stun. That's 5 times. Do the full charge. Got a decent amount of melee damage rather than kind of none. I mean, of course, this is more the comparison to Barzam itself.
Yeah.
For that one. I mean the Gaza D level 2 got a huge buff. That's kind of more of like balanced. It does have range options, actually bad, and it's pretty tanky. Um, and I will say too with the shield, I know one thing mentioned the health, like the shield actually gives it more effective HP. But
I
again,
never count that though, because it's
with
just
the
its own
detriment
object.
part, yeah. But again, also if it explodes, like I take it at like a fifth of its value half the time because sometimes it's gonna block a shot, sometimes it can block some damage. But then also if it helps kill you, then it's like I don't want it, right?
It's one of those things where like I think Evolution is doing it better, where they actually just have an honest to god like block button.
Yeah, I can't wait to check out some Evolution stuff. But yeah, all of the Galbaldis are pretty good. Um, I think it is a better Alex. I don't know. I well now not so much. Now the Alex grows after
Yeah, because
that.
we're gonna get into the
Alex is
adjustments for that
completely
too.
insane. Alex like just decimates the thing. Like, but anyway, we'll get to that later. But yeah, I'm honestly with mention of Alex though, I'd probably just run the Alex over a lot right now, especially around the 500 cost range. But oh yeah, and I guess yeah, melee priority on it. So I don't know. I'm a fan though. It for some reason the suit clicks with me because I think it's literally. I think one reason too that I'm liking it so much is I probably have some bias where I'm doing well with it too because it feels like the Mark II that I wish I could have been playing for a long time, which that's what I was hoping the Barzam would have been, and there was just something about the Barzam that didn't work. Maybe it's the double dodge roll. I'm gonna say it has to be the double dodge. Just a couple of extra things like grenade. Um, but did I cover everything on the? I guess we should go over the actual percentages for stuns quick. I guess the double dodge was the main skill there for that. But yeah, 30% heat rate on it, so you can get 5 shots total if you're spamming it. 35% stagger value, and apparently 65% stagger on a full charge. That's kind of. And it has 45% stun value on the grenade. Actually, that that about right. But also having 4
I think
shots.
so.
I can't remember the stun value on the grenade launcher time, but 4 shots though, with only a 5 second, rather than having to wait for your normal 8 to 10 second reload time, is fantastic. That's what I thought at first it was just a grenade launcher. I didn't pay attention to it when I first got it, so I was just like, phew, and then I'd swap and be like waiting 10 seconds, swap back. I'd be, wait a minute, hold up, that's a number there. But yeah, kind of funny when I made that realization. Then it has the oh wait, did I look at the wrong thing?
Uh
Oh, never mind. Okay, here it is. Sorry. Then it's Mark II beam rifle. Of course, it can use the Hyper Bazooka 2, and it can use the shrapnel version of it as well. Then we got the Vulcan pod, which is just gross. It fires crazy fast, does decent damage, 90 shots. Have fun. I mean, it's Mark II and Barzam Vulcan pods, and yeah, that's the beam saber actually has a decent bit of damage at 2,200 and then 2,310 for level 1. Level
Not
skills
bad at all.
again, double dodge roll for skills, performance balance, force injector, control, um, melees, high performance radar. Does it have? Oh, I guess it doesn't have the. Okay, so if something blows up next, it's gonna get stunned. So yeah,
That's a little unfortunate. But what are you gonna do?
but yeah. Any other final thoughts on it?
Um, I mean, that other summary kind of marked it up. There's a lot of other things people are probably gonna run around it. Um, but it's nice. It's another neat one. The other thing to keep in mind, as always, with these kind of so-so suits, is that even if you have better stuff, this is a gotcha game, and for someone that might just be their daily driver for a while at that cost range. So it all depends.
Especially coming back and doing that new account, it was just like, okay, what do I have?
Yep.
Can I play this cost? But cool. Okay. And that catches us up to the
E. The Nero.
Hero Trainer.
Prepare to be KIA. Oh, so scary. Oh shit.
Being the well here, you've got it. So what do you think of it so far as somebody who's played it?
Pretty good. Uh, I just appreciate having another double saber thing that's actually a raid more so than anything. That last match that I did in rated, I actually didn't do the heavy much at all. I was just doing regular raid shit. But even with that, just because of how crazy the Vulcans are and the rifle being serviceable and stuff, I was doing alright in there. Just being able to go head to head with people. Do we want to go into a brawl and like mess around with it?
Yeah, we can just do that. Yeah, I'll bring up both.
Oh, that's interesting too. Whereas, like, I seen a Reddit post of people using the quick turn to keep from getting tackled out of heavy attack. So that's another possibility. Because at first I was like, "Ooh, quick turn into heavy is cool," but that is true. If you're headhunting and you're trying to get to someone and you just want to stop someone from like getting your actual heavy out, like that might actually give you enough time, or at least like a switch in direction.
Well, I mean, we did do the test to see if a build-up stun could be avoided if you quick turn. So you could also do that. See a volley of missiles come at you, you just damage from like say a Dom barrage.
And then just turn back around like,
What should I fight you? Another raid?
you could.
Okay, I'll.
Unless you want to see like how it would fare against whatever supports you think are relevant at that cost. Because I got the level 1, so.
Okay, I do want to see if it can destroy what I'm gonna in one combo. Only this suits my only hope to live against any melee.
Alright, beam me up then.
Right. Oh, oh. But overall, I think as far as kind of my general thoughts on it so far, the heavy attack being the wings, you get double hits twice, is just gross. Like that is just the
Pretty
like
nasty.
possible like 12k ish on a board or higher with parts. Like that is just obscene. Um, my curiosity though is, does it have enough damage um to kind of be a bit higher cost proto Gundam with just normal two beam sabers? Will it be able to kind of combo on its own and just kill them?
Hmm.
That was my fear when I looked at it. I was like, are they going to put too much into the heavy attack? It is a gross heavy attack, and now that I know it is a gross heavy attack,
Yeah,
what's its
because
normal
it's
combo?
baseline power at level 1 is 2400 for the dual sabers. Beam rifles about the same, 1200, yada yada yada. 60 millimeter Vulcans go at 90 with the ammo of 50 and a range of 175. I still really wish they just put the fucking flash grenade in the chest. Like, I'm tired of having to throw that fucking thing. And like time that so that I can keep boosting as like the animation's happening. It's so damn slow.
Right.
It's been working for some people though. But its baseline from attack is melee strength 40, range strength 15. With what I got on, I just put the level 5 melee on there, so that puts it up to like 53, and then the rest is like some boost, cooling, health, the spaced armor, and a little bit of ballistic. Just because the stretch on this, or the spread on this for part slots is 18 close, 11 medium, and 5 long. So a little cramped. Yeah, it's glassy as fuck. Because all of its defensive values are in the teens baseline, so you're talking 50, 15, 18 down the list for ballistic beam and melee.
Oh yeah, I didn't actually select the map, but good, it picked the right one.
Ew. It's like it knew. The hell.
Whoa. Um.
Sorry. Add something on the lid real quick. Just did the thing. Nice to meet you. Where are you at?
Oh.
Hello.
Hang on. Not hello yet. Not
Hello.
looking.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Now I'm in.
Hello.
It's gonna
Hello.
hurt.
Oh, that's a
Alright. It
heavy.
is. Yeah, it is. Thing has like almost 50 melee resist. Let's go. Oh no. That's a heavy attack. Oh no.
Should have just took the heavy.
Next time.
So the kind of cool thing about when this folds out, the actual boosters fold out from the sides when you see it in its victory pose and stuff. Which is why at first I thought these boosters would actually have cannons on the shoulders. I was like, oh, maybe this is kind of like a G-line assault kind of situation, or maybe a gas. And it's like, no, those are just boosters, just extra things to get hit.
Oh.
Like that's fun.
Um. That's weird. Your feet is messing up. But yeah. Let me
Hmm.
stand up. See what damage you can deal with a heavy.
I just looked over and it's all right on my end. Is your internet going out?
No, like it was showing the thing. I've got you
Oh, that's
put
rude.
off. Okay, go ahead and do the
Did you
heavy
fix it?
thing. We'll go ahead and do the heavy thing. I've got my side of right up. I lived. It's a miracle.
And that's after being hurt too. Interesting.
Yeah, dude, this thing is like my favorite thing to go against. You know, if I think there's gonna be a raid that's gonna be able to get to me, I want to be in a heavy gun because it has like the base value. He's got like I'm probably off either a little too much or too little, like 30 something melee res by default. It's actually gross since it's on this thing.
So the defense goes down for a second. I don't actually see the iframe slashing for this, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Oh, I missed. What? No. And give this thing the Don Barrage's Gatling treatment.
Did you imagine?
Dude, that buff on the Gatling, I know had that one, but dude, the ability to actually hit.
Oh, but you're
Oh
still up
yeah.
there.
No. Ah.
Oh, the fucking clipping in this area. God damn it. Like doing hang time like I'm fucking Tony Hawk here. Like, fuck off. Just trying to fucking shoot the thing. And then when I boosted up, it canceled out my goddamn shot. They really have to streamline some of the actions for shit like that. Like, that's so annoying.
Come on, no.
Like, I'm kind of loath to use the Vulcans because I feel like I should just be using the rifle and melee, but like, I gotta remember that I had those to just finish it off.
Oh yeah, that's right. And like seconds whether I want to.
My resistances. Ooh. So yeah, I mean that's gonna be the thing too, right? Because I like at this cost, there still is a fair amount of things, even in the general category, that have like a decent amount of.
Even capture was okay. Now I'm getting hit.
Sir,
Okay, I'm playing off of the not the anymore. Playing off the little tiny screen that is in Streamlabs. Oh, wait, I should have had the chance to actually down.
takes a bit made. You stop that, you.
No, wait, why am I doing Vulcan? Gosh, I forgot this thing had Vulcan. Oh, that is. But anyway, no. Oh. But yeah, the
That
only
is one
problem with
thing.
this suit is where it can't like guarantee stuns. Not best support, but
Mm.
when raids are a problem, definitely the one you kind of want to be.
I really gotta get more precise with this rifle too to actually get my stuns in. The grenade's okay sometimes.
Ah, I know. Oh, I hit you once.
Nope.
Just,
He's thirsting.
oh wow, I shot the wall. Ah, wait, what?
Oh, yes!
No.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh, that's all I needed. So yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be people who play the conservative route and try to stack like a lot of defense or health on this thing.
you're
I don't
trying
know
to
how
do
far
a
that's really gonna get you just because of how little of both of those it has. And the fact that it has no buffers anyway.
here real quick before it ends.
No.
Heavy attack me and then down.
Ah, I'm gonna have to just like,
Well, then just go and just get a normal down. Coming.
oh, too late. I
Oh,
let it go and I couldn't
okay.
cycle it.
Well, either way, that should have been
There we
roughly
go.
about the
Boop.
same damage.
See, I have to boost out of it faster in order to get it.
But yeah, pretty much. I think what we were running into as well with the kind of the bug thing going on was slightly a capture issue as well as a other issue. But yeah, I would survive full heavy attack because that second heavy that you essentially roughly what it down. I think 135. But yeah, pretty cool.
Yep,
Um,
I can dig it.
looks like it has enough damage by itself though to kind of be able to comboing stuff on its. So it's solid enough. Maybe not as much as what I'd say it could have, but yeah, I think it's good enough.
Yeah.
Um, let's back over to this page.
All right. Are we done with the
Yeah.
brawling? Okay. Bye.
Okay. So skills wise and stuff, let's check out some stun values. So, dude, that is a gross heavy attack though. Like, I mean, I'm literally on the highest defense support you can get.
Like for that cost range.
Yeah, like that's the highest
Yeah.
melee defense. The heavy. But yeah, went over the stats, right?
I went
I didn't
over
have
some of
them
the
up.
weapons.
Okay, you
I
went
can
over
go
some.
over the actual stats.
I was gonna say if you kind of want to just go over everything and then get the weapon, bring your. Luck, my computer isn't buff AF. There we go. Good.
Alright. So from level 1 we're talking 17,000 health. Ballistic resistance is 15, beam resistance is 15, melee resistance is 18, range strength is 15, melee strength is 40, movement speed is 130, top speed is 215, thruster gauge is 75, turning speed is 72, and like we said before, the part slottage spread is close range 18, medium range 11, and long range 5. And we want to go down the skills.
Um, but real quick, as far as the scaling, the main things, usual scaling for defense. So, plus two, plus two, plus 1,500 health, um, 2 and then 5 damage numbers, and then it'll gain 2 close range, 1 medium,
Hmm.
and then go ahead and do.
Alright, so Assault Booster level 3, High Performance Balancer 1, High Spec Handbag 2, Maneuver Armor 2, Force Injector 2, Melee Combo Controller 2, Heavy Attack level 1, Quick Turn level 1, Leg Shock Absorber 2, Flight Control Program 3, Anti-Blast Stabilizer 1, Special Shoulder Add-on Buffer level 2, which puts it at 15%, and Special Back Add-on Buffer 2 as well, and Emergency Evasion System 1.
I mean, pretty solid. Kind of your standard things you'd expect.
Hand enhancements is pretty typical as well. So cooling support system, repellent tank, complex expansion, AP, ADP, which is melee mod. Increased security is one of the locked ones, which is increases time to capture mobile suit by 3 seconds, and ADP a level 3, which is +4 to melee. Space also has space compatibility and has a melee priority of 3.
So with its beam rifle, again has a stagger value of 50%, 65 charge, 40% rate, 75 full. For the Vulcan, 7%, so 15 hits, and it fires 600 a minute. Yeah, Vulcan.
Pretty
Um,
nasty.
and flash grenade is a flash grenade, and the club, club.
And it indeed is those things.
Yep. So you have to use the club. Good luck. Um, it's beam sabers though. 2,400 and then 2,520 for damage. Um, so it actually got significant damage scaling for those, which, uh, because of the time craziness. So big chunky hits, downswings, and the heavy. Where is the? I'm looking for correction. Oh, here it is. Okay. So neutral, horizontal, and then so main thing, it's standard scaling, so 130 for downswing, but 100% for horizontal rather than 75%. Heavy attack is actually 338, so 169 times. Um, yeah, that's pretty gross.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, that's. Whew.
It's one of those things where it's like, again, it looks like one of those suits, and in general, like its weapons are very unremarkable. Like those Vulcans are really cool. Everything else is kind of so-so. I'm sure a lot of people were hoping that they were going to be able to use like a bazooka or an instant stun rifle with this. Not gonna happen. You still have to charge and at least what is that? 2 shots
I mean, 2 shots.
per
That's
stun?
not bad. 50% with that, like that's the same thing as a Jarja. I mean, it's literally, literally if you were playing a Jarja. I mean,
Yeah,
can't
I
be
mean you
mad at
just do
that.
the charge at that point. Some people might be, but in general, just the fact that it has that heavy stagger, which means it has to do less work to do the same damage, technically. So I can see that being pretty appealing. It's also just flexible enough with the aerial control and all the other stuff, so it can keep up with other suits while also having the highest priority since it actually didn't get taxed. Unlike I really want the regular Night Seeker or the actual regular Violator to get 3 priority.
Right?
At this point, it
Please,
kind of needs it.
please. But yeah, the Neuro Trainer, pretty good. It's definitely
Doesn't look
solid.
like much, but do not underestimate that motherfucker.
I mean,
Do
anything
not.
with a heavy attack. I mean, heavy attacks are a big deal. That's kind of one of
Yeah.
the things. Like, I'm curious to see if we start getting things retroactively, getting some heavy attacks added to them. Like, I know they're
Maybe.
going giving them like the shield thing.
What's the lowest thing that actually has the charge on it? Is it at this cost? Is it the Nero?
400? No, no, it's Beyblade
Oh yeah, that's right,
Red Rider.
the Red Rider. So I wonder if they're gonna pass that threshold at some point and go even lower with it.
They're the AG. They're gonna retroactively give the AG an actual
That'd
heavy.
be amazing. I would love that.
So yeah. But yeah, I like it. I think it's good. If you need a 450 raid, it is definitely one to spin on. I might actually do a couple of singles after I do the 11 special banner, which we'll talk about here in a sec. Um, next, I guess we go ahead and unless you have anything else for the Nero, you want to talk about the Gigan Space type. And sadly, I did not
Oh,
get it in time. Uh, things come up today. Rip.
Ag already. I mean, Ag already has a 900% downswing, but it's also a
Yeah.
downswing that you have to
I mean, it's
hit
practically,
sequentially.
yeah, it's practically a heavy attack, but it still gets blocked by shield. So, like,
It also doesn't do all the damage at once, at least as far as I know. That'd be kind of wild.
oh yeah, it does the like that would be interesting. Well, even if it's a heavy attack though, it could be a heavy attack that still hits 20 times, right?
Mm.
They still could make it work, I believe. But I thought it was kind of funny though that we were like, man, this should be an attack that just penetrates through shields because it drills. The grade should have something to bypass shields. I remember
That'd
Emblem
be
saying that,
amazing.
and then literally we get the heavy attack that came out not too long after, and I was
Yeah,
like,
that would be the
"This is
one.
what you wanted. This is what you wanted. Look what happens to us supports over here.
That'd be
This is the
amazing.
destruction that you've caused."
Like it'd probably be the same thing, right? Just faster. Like all of a sudden you just and then just like zooms forward.
Yeah, like that way it would
Like
be some kind of negative.
instead of it being like a gradual like damage, it would
Yeah,
just do it all at once and just yeet really hard.
yeah, like that would be kind of cool that you get like the maybe it still ticks. So if you hit him in the right spot or get him caught next to a wall, then you could like one person, like you kind of can already. But this way, if you hit their shield, you still delete them. But
Yeah, and
like,
the other thing for me is that the ag is kind of cool, but the ag also has low cost suit problems where you blow through a lot of its boosts pretty fast while trying to actually reach certain suits, especially on like more vertical maps.
put it in the water
So,
map though.
oh my god, yeah, that's a different story at
It
that
is,
point.
man. I don't think I've lost a game with the ag on the. 200 water.
The funny thing is that like slightly higher, and you just have a lot of like aqua suits barfing on it in water.
Yeah.
So like I've seen a couple in some of those like slightly higher matches in like
Wait, is
250 or whatever.
there a 200 general that's aquatic? Am I derping right now?
No, there's a one.
Yeah.
It
So.
starts at like 250.
Oh wait.
I'm talking about
You
when it
you did
bumped up.
say you did say. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like thinking the whole time, and you're like, but when the aquatic suits, I'm like, wait a minute, I've never seen an aquatic suit be able to contest me. Sadly, though, it doesn't pop up at all.
Like
I've
you'd
only
have to
seen
either run into
one.
another ag or have an like ag guys could probably bully it still. Does it start there or does it start at
Yeah,
250 for ag guy?
that guy is 200. Yeah, I mean that used to
Okay.
be the. Well, first it was like play whatever because they all suck.
Yeah,
Technically,
they're all bad.
the ag guy technically
Ag guy was like the ace
was.
suit though. I could still say that was
Yeah.
one of the more solid ones people would pick.
Well, I was gonna say technically it was the best, but everything was so clunky and hard
So
to
bad.
use.
Yeah.
Like your skill cap had to be through the roof, and then or you just have to. Was I drunk that night, and then cupcakes happened or whatever, and then
Oh
it
yeah.
just all of a sudden my new type potential unlocked with that guy, and I gained waddle powers.
Wasn't that was Waddle Powers and then you also did you do Zombie that day or some ridiculous suit?
Yeah, there was something. No, well, actually, it wasn't that the next year. Like
You know what? Yeah, it
that
was.
was the next year when that I was just like
Fuck,
slamming
it's
there.
been
I
that
was like
long.
completely just like I was like, yeah, I'm not even looking. I countered that guy. So I just was like punch. I was like melee Zommel, like taking on 2 rays. I was like, what? What is this?
Drunken master ass
And
motherfucker all of a sudden.
yeah, we were invaded though. That's the funny thing. It's like not even like we were in a meme situation.
Customs are fucking around, yeah.
Yeah, it was like what? What is this? But
Lord.
things that happen at 5 a.m. Been drinking. Um, somehow we were all having like some kind of. But yeah. Anyway, the Zombies can't do nice. But yeah. So Gigan space type, and I am so happy to say that we have not just the Gigan Giga Punch, but we have the ultimate. You joked and said the ultimate Gigan Punch, and it is the ultimate Gigan Giga Punch. Like, I'm gonna try to find one of those filters. Like, you know how we accidentally caused it to happen that day when you the guitar beam, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do like Giga
Giga
Punch,
punch.
Giga Punch, or I just need you to do it. Like, yeah. But yeah, like the full thing, like, and then just every time, just as I'm gonna try to do a highlight reel of that, and then just
Oh
every
my
time it
god.
does it, like when it's like a 2-man knockdown or something.
Just have anime noises in the
Gigan
background.
Giga
What?
Punch.
Oh!
Yeah.
Just straight
Whoa,
up.
wait, that echo. What? Oh, dude. Okay. Well played, sir. Well played. I was not expecting echo. Oh, you got me with that one. Like I thought I heard it before, but I was like, am I just crazy? Well played. What are you using for that? Is that
That's just the mixer that I have.
oh, okay, okay, nice. But yeah, so the Gigan, I do have a couple of problems with it though. What is like, um, but yeah, I do have a couple of problems. So it is awesome, but a couple of things that again, when we were joking yesterday about the text, the wall of text they threw at us to kind of describe what it was going to be. Let's see if I can stop. Hey, they're not aligned, but oh well. So the actual stats on it: 9,500 HP, 20 ballistic resist, which is actually ridiculous. 4 beam. Kind of one of the downsides if there is of beam things you could run into, especially possibly the other support at its cost, which would be GM cannon space.
Mhm.
If you're going to compare squishiness, you're going to die anyway. GM cannon space technically squishier. It does have a shield. Pretty much draw C downswing twice and kill both. So the melee resist being 0 only really affects other supports and generals being able to destroy you quickly melee. And then the beam resist is going to affect some suits attack, which kind of gets a little awkward. The actual GM cannon space itself is going to actually hit pretty hard against you with beam uh, beam pistol or whatever it is, beam spray gun, whichever one it is, because it can do 3 shots really quickly to overheat, or just 2 as a follow up, and also being another support. If they stun you with a cannon, you can follow up with beam to get even more damage. It already chunks as it is. Being able to do almost damage with it, kind of gross. So that I was kind of disappointed to see the beam resist so low. But the thing is, this thing does have some chunky damage at 20 range strength, and if you just put all the range parts on it, you're somewhere in the 40s. Melee strength is 5. I mean, with parts that you can put on it, pretty much have 1 close left. So I'm either gonna put a back thing on it or just the melee part. Probably the back one, because having your back broke in this space sucks. You can't tackle
Yeah,
even.
not great.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty ripped. Top speed though. Here's the crazy part. Here's where this thing is really good, and then here's my complaint: is the speed and movement. Top speed 180, thruster 60. You can get around. Definitely get around. Um, One thing I haven't seen though is all the skills. Look at the website for that. They have it up there. Check that here in a second. Turn speed 51. Four things. But the base movement speed is actually 5 lower than the Gigan itself. Base. Unless it also gains movement for having space specialization, which I don't think you actually gain base. But yeah, 115 by default, where the Gigan with parts even I get up to 125. So I can kind of move and kite with the main Gatling and stuff a little bit better. But I will say the Vulcans on this thing are absolutely disgusting. It's like 15, it's the same as or actually no, I think it's less than that, because it's got the pretty much same rate of fire, but the Vulcans will stun at about the same speed, if not almost a little faster. Like the videos I've seen, I've seen like 3 or 4 videos just people throwing up things where the Vulcans are just gross. So you can go at somebody, shoot them with the Vulcans, get that first stun, follow up with the cannon, then punch them, and then fall back and Gatling. The Gatling, though, sadly turns into a um like a 13. Okay, so it's 8 actual stun ratio. Um, but the Gatling has like almost no stun ratio. Kind of sucks. So compared to the normal Gigan, where the Gatling has a lot of stun value on its Gatling, not so much here, but it does have some good damage. It does fire a bit slower than the normal Gigan, which is kind of awkward. Um, so I'm actually curious which one has better damage output. I think it's 130 power for the base type, and sub struggle
Phew.
105. Okay, so it's 30%. So uh, you have more ammo too, and hopefully you have the same range, if not more. Hope about 400. That could be awkward. Um, but yeah, as far as the skills, I'll try to look those up real quick. But have you seen much on it?
Not too much. Um, I think I saw someone. I had one of my others like space matches. That was about it. So it got ace. It was doing work.
Oh yeah, it
I don't.
definitely has damage. That's for sure.
It's
That's
kind
the
of hard
crazy part.
to. It's kind of hard to say compared to anything else because it's at such a low cost.
It does have
Just because
400
like,
range, so yeah.
mm,
I mean, see, that's the other thing. It's a low cost thing. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan of low cost.
a lot of people aren't. I don't mind it, but my thing about that is that like anything can kind of kill anything pretty fast just because things die quick. So it's a little hard to gauge, but apparently, what were you saying earlier when you were on your way back? You were still saying like the Vulcans on it were kind of nasty and stuff from what you were seeing.
Um, well, as far
Or
as
were
the
you
well,
talking about
real
the
quick, the time for death though, the meta suit at that cost right now for space is the EM cannon space, which has equal time of anything gets on
mm,
it. So it's like pretty
that's
much
one of those things
everything
where it's
there.
like at least it has the shield, but it's like you just hit it on the other side, especially in space
Yeah.
where you have extra angles to hit it from, and most raids are coming from the bottom up. If they're doing melee, it's like it's not super relevant.
Well, and then you can't really put any more health on it. So at that time, it is especially a detriment because you're just like, okay, well, I'll shoot the people down.
Yeah,
As a
and then
general, you're
get
just
a
like,
free stun.
and then I get a free stun on you. Yeah. But it has a ton of damage too. That's like its damage. This, you have a bit more maneuverability than space, but more so positioning. So the main thing
Jim
is,
Cannon's Space gets away with it just because it has like two like instant stun weapons on top of like the beam being able to like fill in the gaps between.
yeah, see, that's another thing too. It has, well, I mean, it has a combo that it got the cannons, got multiple stuns you're throwing out right in a row. That's kind of going to be the difference. Can you get that longer range hit, that
Mhm.
big damage, follow up for 3 times pretty quick? Whereas this, you're going to have your long range Gatling, which um, has 40 range, uh, 400 range. So it has some good solid damage. Um, the power on the cannon is 1400, 8 shots, 5-second fire interval, guns of course. Vulcans though have like, okay, so they don't have all the stats here. 30 rounds, but you can stun in 13. Technically, it stuns off one clip that, and
Mhm.
you have the crazy claw arm, which just gross because of like how much range it actually like
It
has.
covers a lot of ground,
It's like the draw C heavy or draw C downswing period. Yeah, only it's a punch, which is hilarious.
which just essentially means it's like the front of your suit. Wee,
Yeah.
let's go.
Um. So it's pretty nice. Damage is okay. You have no like real actual scaling for it, but 1200 and then 1260. But the thing is, then you can follow up with good damage from everything else. Um. By the way, the Vulcans, it is times at 75 power, so it's really nice. Um. Then we have the actual Gatling. I'm not seeing, they don't have the stats for its actual base damage on here, but I'm pretty sure the screenshot I saw was 130 for its level 1 damage. Yeah. Sorry, I read the level 1 and level 2 for the punch, but I'm like, oh, wait a minute. The Clawarm may have 5 levels for the normal one, but it only has 1 for this. Um, and I wish they had the stagger value up. They do not. But yeah, I saw somebody empty about a half a clip, and they couldn't get the stun off. So it's pretty ripped. That's 40 shots. Like it has like 80 or 90 pounds. Yeah, big oof there. Um, so main thing, you can go ahead and just throw just damage at somebody, and you're gonna do some good damage with the Gatling. Being able to shoot like that, pretty solid. I'm hearing 34 shots per stun on the Gatling. So yeah, about a half a clip. That's still kind of ripped. How the rate is actually lower than normal, kind of ripped on it. skills. Here we go. Here's the force injector. It does have it. Okay, that's pretty much my big question. If there's one support that I would ever actually want to have force injector, it was well, my job's done here. There we go. No, high performance and back, and of course you have the space specialization too. That's why it has or that's why it has the balance, brother. So got gimbal, got data link, high performance scope, and high radar. Really cool stuff. I'm glad they actually pretty right as far as like being strong. Honestly though, that amount of damage is kind of ridiculous because there's a lot of people who just use a draw C. And with this thing, you can
Yeah.
actually kill the draw C and especially a draw C Kai. So I'm curious to see how much this thing's going to like actually destroy those suits.
Yeah, it was a fucking terror for me when I was doing it earlier. That was Drosy custom,
Oh
and
yeah,
every once in a while that thing would just show up and like chunk me because they improved the fucking Gatling on top of that.
yeah. So you got more range, and then you have now it does again fire slower, but the thing is you're still chunking for each shot. So there's more range and damage. So it's more overall damage, but less rate of fire. So, but I mean, like you can hit on that thing. I'd say what they were probably easily hitting you for 100.
Yeah, this is gross.
Yeah, and you've only got what 9,000 health. Good luck.
So I wish that the shield was actually a shield and not just a sheet of metal on my thing.
Wait, does it have? Doesn't it have a shield? I thought both the draw C
Yeah,
and the draw
it
C
it is.
Kai.
I'm just saying it sucks. I'm just
Oh,
saying it's bad.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah, like a bigger, like it was actually big. I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, uh, Egan space type. I love it. Can't wait to have it. So close, like 300,000 damage from it.
Yeah, I mean, Ambac can do the same thing, but you have to adhere to a certain like movement pattern because if you try to do a sudden boost in the other direction, like you're still gonna have that stall or like slow down. So you just have to watch the way you're going, which it makes you more linear. Try to maintain it. Also, you're just thinking about it more, which is never good. And
Yeah.
if you have to practice it that much, then it's probably not worth doing.
The other thing too is it should be able to do the what the other draw C stuff does, especially the Kai take advantage of it. Well, and the normal draw C can take advantage of it quite a bit. Is your downswing to get around. So because you're also really slow normally. So yeah, I think it's gonna be funny. We're gonna see like the Gigan just punching their way to get to the initial point of
Then get out
combat.
of the way.
So it's kind of hilarious. But but yeah, I love it. Can't wait to see it. Like can't wait to use it. So that'll be hype. Um, good. I think they did a good job. A little weird on a couple of the stats. I wish it was just. I wish it actually had at least the same or higher base movement. The Gigan in space, but the Vulcans being able to stun insanely fast, actually having build up stun,
Yep.
I think it's fine because there's a lot of things like Atrocity and stuff try to approach might be able to actually stun it for just a tip. That's what I'm banking on. Actually, they have the range on this. I want to know what the range Vulcans are. They have the range on it. That would be crazy. 150. Okay, so that's yeah, about what I expected. I was kind of hoping for 200, but I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. The good news is, especially if a general gets on you too, and raid, maybe not so much, or if they miss, you can at least Vulcan get that stun off that way. Pretty nice. Um, uh, yeah, anything else for the Gigan? I'm just hyped about it. I can't wait. Go
Oh
grind
my
for it.
goodness!
I will say the
If
funniest
you're
thing. Oh, go ahead.
if you're stuck doing high or low cost space for your space dailies, since it's nice to have the schedule, but sometimes you just gotta do what's there. Then this will be a good pick for your supports. You can't go too wrong with it.
And also, the funny thing is I feel like the hardest thing to actually get done out of the mission, uh, build damage. I can't just base
Mm,
cheese my way to like maxing out damage. No,
right.
but yeah,
I think
these are
that's
actually
also why they have it to like 30 sorties. Like, hopefully you get it by then.
right. Okay, so now we've got the double Zeta to talk about, and I mean, really, there's I guess as far as time goes, I mean, other than hoping more about it, I personally, what do you think? Um, I think it's still kind of meh,
Mm,
but
meh.
yeah, the double Zeta, like when you get down to
Double
30%,
Z is stacked.
it gets the damage control when it's got biosensor on, right?
Mm,
Yeah. So at that point, it's pretty. But again, like the flying mode and just having the like shots you're out of the sky from a lot of things, like looking at you falling, like
yeah.
that is super rip,
It kind of sucks because I was kind of hoping that we would have a 650 in rated right now, just to if I could fuck around with that. But
right?
yeah, I don't know. I've seen people do even the level 2 one in 700, and because it just has that higher output and generally just can transform and move around, it's almost like a slightly less floaty EXS for some people, especially if they don't really want to mess with any of the lock-ons and just be more direct.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess
Um,
that's a good.
it also is another suit that has a long saber, and the long saber you can just get yourself into spots a little bit faster to use it between transformations. So it's a little weird. I don't know if it'll be here a week later in that cost range. Um, but they were good. They were good improvements. They're good changes.
Yeah.
I can't really argue with that. It was something that was a long time coming, at least for
Yes.
the cannons and all that stuff. So they got that far. Will they do more adjustments? I don't doubt it. Will it become a meme about how much they have to try to fix it? Probably.
It's already a meme about how much it had to be fixed,
Mhm.
and the
It's just
cannons
gonna get
though,
worse from here.
I think the cannons are a huge step because that gave it a bit more.
Mm.
Like the Vulcans are a joke to have on it. The
That's something they should have switched. They should have made it like the Type 2s, like the Faz has. That should have been a no-brainer.
yeah,
Because yeah, the regular Vulcans on that suck.
the Vulcans are trash, so they shouldn't even be on there. But now that it actually has the cannons, the missiles are kind of cool. They do decent damage.
Mm.
But like it would
Also,
still,
if you transform with that and actually have a straight shot at somebody, you can just slow roll and barf all those out for stupid damage.
yeah, that's what I do like about the fly mode is doing that, swapping to the cannon, and then hitting them, then bumping and swapping, and wherever you land, you pretty much get the melee at that.
Hmm.
So there are some cool
Like in
combos that
the
can come out of it.
air, especially if you're already naturally aggressive, in the air, that thing is pretty much just a flying freight train. They're just gonna slap the shit out of people.
Yeah, if but my problem with it still, like I think it's nice that it has some good damage and stuff now, but still just way too easy to focus down.
Mhm.
Like
Well,
that's
it's
the
also
problem.
one of those things where they did the stuff that we were hoping for, and then didn't do enough around that to keep it relevant. Like the Dovin is doing what it does with even more protection and more output over time because it has more things to cycle.
Yeah,
It doesn't really need to transform to do any of that, and if anything, it's gonna use its gut beam to shoot it out of the sky.
Yeah, the Dovin is just pretty much doing its job better, really. I mean, you can't really. Well,
And
I mean, I
even
don't
then,
know.
like the
It's still getting
Dovin
its
isn't
slap.
even like even then the Dovin isn't really considered to be that hot of a suit either.
Yeah, these
It's
days.
kind of so just because it's just like another giant brick wall to like hit.
Yeah, since it did lose its damage control a little bit, there are a couple of suits now that
It
have a.
lost it at one cost though. Like it isn't it just at its baseline
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not its
I am thinking about its baseline too, like where it should be, quote unquote best it could be, kind of thing.
mm,
Like my argument before, like when it was like, well, there's a few suits that don't care as much because like anything you'd be playing would already be stunning it anyway. Now we've got a couple of things that's like I wouldn't have, and it's like, oh, well, okay, now now it's even worse that it got taken away. Oh no, but yeah, but the uh
but no. I mean I'm definitely gonna try it more when I get the chance. I don't know how I feel about damage control being a superpower. I would have rather it had level one at a baseline and gotten a higher one when it popped. I think that would, if we're talking about immediate changes, that should just be one of them, just to keep it from getting like outdone right out of gate. It's kind of funny that some people were saying that it's already trumped by, or it already trumps the Cubile, and it's like to a certain degree I can see that, except that its body's still so big and it's gonna get hassled by its instant stuns and its back funnels more often than not. So like, I don't know about that one either.
but yeah, yeah. I mean, the fly is kind of more of a mode of transport, I think, and then when you get out of it, like if somebody just waits, like if you flew past somebody, they can just wait and then stun you in the back and transform and you fall to the ground, and now everybody can follow up. So if you transform high, it doesn't have fall prevention at all. Um, so like there's a lot of problems that this thing has that a lot of other flying suits really don't have much issue with. Yeah, I don't know, it's size. I don't know. I do like that you can be a bit more aggressive and get to people more though. That is one thing I've been noticing. Is prior to this, there was almost no way somebody's going to get on me. That your maneuver armor is. If I can hit you with everything I'm firing at you, your maneuver armor is not going to let you. And then, again, 30% it has double dodge roll. So I mean, at that last little bit, it's a crazy suit. But I mean, that's the only time that it's like as good as what I think it should all the time, and that's my problem, right? Like at that
Mhm.
point, it's good. Just give it like that all the time.
That's one of the things that they haven't really given up on with suits that have like sensor gimmicks. Like the Zeta is a little bit more flexible and has more instant stuns, would actually work to its advantage, especially when you're talking about it dealing with specifically even double Zetas at 650. I remember a lot of people were like, "Oh man, the level two is gonna have a hard time," and there's all this other shit that fights it. It's like, it's pretty much in there now. Not to mention like the support variant, the C1 is gonna melt this fucking thing still, and it has a heavy stagger that it can swat it out of the air with when it transforms for both of those, Zeta and double Zeta. So I don't know. It was nice to fuck around with in customs. It's definitely not going to be indicative of how it is in real play. I saw Blaze having to deal with some of them, and Maniac having to deal with some too in 700, which is kind of funny and interesting. Um, and they were actually doing pretty well. But again, that's because a lot of them were comprising like more of the front line than they probably will like a week from now.
Yeah. So I mean, as far as I've seen a lot of them, and then I've had games where I was
There's
the
like
only
none.
one. And for
Has
me,
anyone protested yet?
No, not really. So I think people were kind of like still in
It's
there
either
with it a
like
little bit,
honeymoon
but
period or just like dealing with it.
yeah, there's been a couple of people that when they see two, they're like, no, oh man. So yeah, there's definitely been when I especially when I got closer to like A+ games and had higher rating stuff in, they were like, nah, we ain't having it. But um, around the A minus when those games happen, like, yeah, sure, let's go, dude, going. But the best one I've had so far was when pretty much if I can just go
Ugh.
at somebody and they're not paying attention to me,
Mm.
from downtown, and
Boo!
I
Yeah,
just delete them with the missiles, the cannon, bump, and swing, knockdown,
dancing
drain,
on their grave essentially.
and then that's actually pretty solid. You can actually get full combo off, but I mean, when I obviously playing as a support, I'm like looking for them to just exist. As I see them in the sky, I'm just like, oh, and I've just like I was playing the mass production play, but it does have some issues, actually knocking them out of the sky. But at the same time, I could pretty much 100 to 1 where it could fly and find a spot to land. And if it transformed, I just shot it and it hit the ground and then it died. So 'cause I could just lock while it was falling to the ground. Nice follow funnel laugh. So that was the other thing. I was just deleting left and right, and then just I don't know. As a support doing your job, looking for that, they're so easy to shoot out of the sky. That's kind of my thing. I'm just like, how is this thing gonna do anything? It's so big and slow, really, when it flies. Like I just look at it with
So
anything I've got.
dumpy.
But trying to think what else I've had success with. Game off, funny. Yes, fly hatch me, full charge, beam vomit, half health. Bye.
Your aggressiveness folly. Fool, know my true power.
Honestly, though, them flying past me and going after my mate was better because that gave more wider surface area to hit. So thing's long, dude. It is like
It's a
you
big
made a
boy.
joke about it like hitting like a train going by. It literally is a train going by of stuff. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool that it has a transformation mode. I do want to see it buffed at least one more time. I think if they just add a couple little things, like
Yeah.
it's up there.
I know that like power scaling wise we're past this generation, but they need to treat it like it's actually the double Zeta.
Yeah,
And I think that's been the issue with it this whole time. Is that it just doesn't have the power that like the double Zeta is kind of expected to have still.
right. And
Also, please let it fucking not run around, but at least move its neck when it's doing the high mega. That like the fact that they didn't touch on anything else outside of those, like it's cool that they added the features, but like we said before, it should have been tweaked more.
yeah, at least give it the normal fly stuff you expect, not like fall prevention, a couple of things like that.
Mm.
Because it's like being able to transform and then just get knocked out of the sky instantly is like, oh no.
Ooh.
But
Yeah, like
anyway,
Schneids are like salivating
oh
at this
yeah,
thing.
Schneids are just like they don't even have to aim to
I just gotta
knock the thing out of
sneeze
the air.
and shit. They don't even have to aim to do it when it's on the ground. Like
That too, right?
like that one shot that we were doing yesterday where it went past you and
Half of
enough
it hit
pellets still
me.
hit my big dumbass body and I still got stunned behind you. Like, fuck.
Like,
Oh, the worst.
dude, half of it just hit me and the other half went past.
Oh, that's so sad.
But anyway, let's see. Anything else for the double Zeta?
Definitely try it out. I wouldn't, I really wouldn't try to shoot for the level 2, but if you get it, you get it.
Yeah, and I do have the banner on the screen, so there is a banner that you can roll for it as well. Um, yeah, I again, if you want, try for it, cool, but probably wouldn't recommend. I will say though, it is fun to play now. Like, there's that at least. At
Mhm.
least there's
Like it feels
I'm
good.
having a ton of fun.
This is how it should have been the whole time. So we're just playing catch up at this
Yeah, if
point.
this was day one, then I'd be like, okay, it could use a couple of
Right.
and even then, at day one, this would have probably felt
Really busted.
really yeah, this would have been gross one. Now with what else
Like
we
that's
have,
you're talking Kubalu at that point.
but,
So this giant thing flying around and like having dick ass like output. Like ugh. Ugh.
but anyway, next we have, the Halloween stuff thing. Yeah.
Yeah. A Halloween trick or treat. Merry Hana Kwanzaa. I'm ready.
Okay, so find it. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So the
Saw you did
Halloween
that
event.
video for the things, by the way.
Oh, like where it's like the trailer and then suddenly the trainer shows up?
No. We'll talk about it in a second, but the
Oh, wait.
fairy
Oh,
stuff.
sorry, the
Yeah,
fairy
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. I was just like, video. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha. Um, recon unit container discovery rate is up to 25% now base. Hallelujah. You can actually find them in a day.
It's a miracle.
Search the base for the camp for fairies. I don't know why when I start reading these, I know I'm on the English side. Why am I reading it wrong? My brain's like trying to produce bad English. Um,
Oh god.
search the base camp for fairies. There we go. Um, they're very noisy and purple. Forgot they were actually noisy fairy and not
Yeah, noisy fairy.
yeah. But
You also gotta watch out and look for them because they're only on flat surfaces. Ooh.
yeah. Um, and then limited fall mission. I mean, we kind of talked about the missions, but as far as the cosmetics, I guess here's the what the base camp looks like. I've got it now, so pumpkins everywhere. Seen it last year's kind of the same thing. Though we have a new uh pumpkin helmet.
Yep, Mafty stuff.
Yeah, the mop stuff. Pretty terrifying looking, actually, context of
I
Halloween.
like it.
But
It's good. But
um,
yeah, everyone's already been gunning for those because they want to. What I was saying is that they should have the meme that they put that over, where they do the dance and shit. That would have been
yes.
amazing as a fucking emote animation.
Oh, that would be hype.
That'd have been hilarious.
And then there's a banner for Code Fairy right next to Tinda. It also has one of the fairy marks on it. Um, then the next thing here is find the hidden fairy thing for the mark. Get the harpy mark thing. Yeah,
Yeah, for the ace killy, whatever the hell.
Gilly.
He was your commander or whatever.
Hey.
Something like that. Fictional lady that didn't have art before, now she has a whole character.
Then so yeah. Yeah, so this was the video that you were talking about. Did you make one for?
No.
Okay. But yeah,
Because I already knew you were gonna make one, so that's redundant.
fair enough. But yeah, so I put up a video on YouTube to go ahead and show where all these are. So I just ran around in 1 through 18. Kind
Mm.
of, you're still needing to find these and don't know where a couple are. That's up. But yeah, what did you think about the scavenger hunt this time?
Pretty good. A little bit simpler in some ways, even though it
Yeah,
did stump me for a second. Um, some of the creative spots that they had for the gogs and stuff and whatnot were kind of funny, but it also really meant that you super needed to look at those videos for some of them.
yeah. Like I was trying to find
So,
it right at
considering
that
the
hour.
considering the difference in terms of the reward, I think this works because it's a sticker as opposed to like a whole ass like thing for your pilot. Although technically, you can display this in more places. like
Right.
coherently. Where did the pilot go? He's actually still in your suit. So I appreciate it. It's also cool because like before this game, that emblem was the only like visual indicator for that ace. So now we just have both. Just her as a character in Fairy and then also that. So that's cool.
Also, by the way, just Casa in chat, but there was no Medea placed one this year. I was looking up at it. I was like,
It's so
there a
funny.
giant purple mark up there? Is it like the whole Medea is just purple? Like what?
What was the other one where they had it coming out of the cannon? I think it was was that for Christmas?
No,
Or was that something else? The other Halloween
that was
one.
the other Halloween one. That was the head flying out of it on the head was
Yeah, like
shot out of it.
woo!
So you had to wait for it, take the picture as it was moving.
Yuri!
So I was just like,
So
I was like,
funny
okay,
though.
it's been about enough time, and I just started slamming on the button. Put me in, coach. I was like, I'm not in a match, but I'm still slamming on X as fast as I can. But yeah, so I will say again a bit more simple this time, but at the same time, I'm kind of sad there wasn't any creative ones, but I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted. I don't mind there being creative ones. It was jarring. I was looking everywhere outside the map for them though
The
first.
one that I'm surprised that they didn't put it on was actually putting the emblem on the suit
On the
itself.
suit, yeah, there was nothing at the suit and the tanks. I was like, what? Where is it? There's got to be something over here. And then I missed the one at the top
But
of
yeah,
the
there's also
screen.
the promotional suit for Code Fairy that's up there, so that's cool.
Yeah, and you could go take a picture in front of the title screen or whatever.
Yep. And there's also a cutout of the waifus over Nintendo. And the trailer, they have like a new like animated trailer that's playing in the base camp, which is nice. I wonder if that's actually like on YouTube or something, because I don't remember seeing some of that footage for the original presentation. I don't know, I'd have to look at it again.
Yeah, that was at the end of the 4 minute video. So pretty sure that's that same cut. That was at and when all the big hype music was playing at the end that got copyright things on YouTube. So
I like how that's how we remember licensed things just from the trauma of having it be demonetized. Like, gosh, that'll never make me money
well, not that
ever.
it was not that it was monetized already, but
Right, but if it ever did, then it's not gonna be now.
right.
Also, it's just like clogging up your notifications, which always sucks. I'm already expecting that with SRW30. Like, well,
Oh no.
every part's
I
just
am
gonna be dead.
actually curious to see if like
They haven't
that.
been muted yet, which is interesting because like there's actual like cutscenes and stuff for the transformations in the premium version, and I don't know, maybe the regular version too, but still, like they
Oh
have
yeah.
like the premium like uncut or like non MIDI like themes that they just put in there.
Ooh. Yeah, I should be careful.
I mean, if anything, all it's gonna do so far, like I said, it hasn't been muted on the Twitch side. It just means that you're gonna get hits on it,
Yeah, I'll just ask him.
so it's
See
just
what
gonna
he's
get
doing.
demonetized.
He's
He,
been he was
I
up
don't
till
know if
like
he,
5 a.m. last night or something.
yeah, I mean he is back on again today, so like
I know. I'm like, dude. Ugh.
didn't waste any time.
I mean, we joked. We were like, if he was still here, he wouldn't be here. He wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, and he
Guys, I'm
sure
sick.
was.
I'm sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I look horrible. There's snot everywhere. You can't. I gotta play this game instead.
Got a bad
Just
case
hear
of the
my voice.
super robots.
But
He
yeah.
had to go full Gata beam. What?
But yeah, the marks though. Back to the Halloween stuff. Um, pretty cool. Uh, decent set this time. Like I don't know. It's jarring though. Next year they're gonna be all outside and everywhere. Oh
Oh
no
my
no.
god.
Okay.
Like it depends on what they do. I want it to be another suit or something, like a small something cute.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That shit. That
The
shit.
next thing, that they have is the tickets that you can get, which pretty much just win games, and all the previous, like, the lantern, the what else? Pumpkin helmet. I don't think you get. Yeah, you can't get the Skull Hunter helmet. But you get a couple of the witch hat, I think. So not all the previous. Sorry. Um, but definitely a few of them, and hopefully they cycle those around somehow. Saying, Mafty pumpkin.
It's
Oh,
my dream.
oh, oh, oh. Anyway, but then again, the 25% recon crate, amazing. That means at the beginning of the month you can actually get through recon crates because this is lasting till when is this lasting? Um, available on. Wait, no, might be. Oh yeah, 10/11. Okay, or sorry,
Mm.
what? Why did I say 10/11? Someone typoed this. But yeah, next month on the 11th. So. Okay, so that's the Halloween stuff. Overall, I mean, I'm liking it as long as the suit's cool. Um, actually, I guess that's the thing. Do you think the Gigan space type is on theme for the more of the Halloween? I don't I don't know if there really can be one of the.
It's kind of, I don't know. Like in terms of shape, if you color it differently, it'll match up, and I think that's what they were probably thinking of more than anything. Even if it's kind of funny.
I mean, it's terrifying in how much damage it does. I guess that's on theme.
Not much damage.
um. Okay, so now code fairy thing. Find the. Oh, I guess there isn't a
So
thing. I'll just use this
I
Halloween
guess
picture.
specifically since we already talked about the Code Fairy like event in the base camp, what do we want to like specifically go over here?
I mean, I guess general thoughts on code fairy. What we think because we've watched it. Um, like.
If you really wanted to be lame about it, you just like go watch that previous viewing. But no. Like we actually had an English translation for the entire presentation since then, thank goodness.
Yeah, that was hype. Um, so I mean, as far as like being a PVE thing, I think it's cool, right?
Mhm.
Hopefully we get you know playtime per dollar kind of thing.
Yeah.
Good. Hopefully that ends up feeling good, right? Um, as we actually haven't seen the store. Apparently, though, there was some info. So again, this I'm assuming at this point still speculation, but there was
Yeah.
some links about where some prices were leaked or
Mhm.
like they were
Also, like
given to news sources.
the
I guess.
general Singapore prices seem to match up with just like what we'd probably expect.
Yes, should be 49.99. I guess 9.99 for the special edition, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Special edition,
deluxe versus
deluxe. There we
standard.
go. Deluxe. I mean that's not too bad. If it's $50 worthy, we'll see, and hopefully it didn't. Honestly, for the extra 20 for 31 token, not
Wait,
bad.
what?
You get 31 tokens in GBO2.
No, sorry,
Oh,
I
oh
was
gosh,
backed up to melee someone. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, that's
what?
his friendly. Like, what?
Um, so it's yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. Then apparently there's a different pixie. I wonder if we're gonna get that in the game.
Mhm.
That'd be kind of interesting.
Did they show what some of the suits are gonna be? Because we know for sure it's like the Zaku that's in the field is gonna be there, and then the Zanny
And the Zany,
is one of the bonus
that's the
suits.
That's the two we know for sure is coming. From
It
there,
makes me wonder if it's going to be the villain suits or if they're actually going to do some of the other customs.
that'd be
Villain suits would probably be more interesting, even though they really do look like really bad kit bashes in some cases, like
they
our
do.
that Mazinga rider or whatever is going on.
um,
But
I guess the next question too, as far as the presentation, so they did mention some kind of co-op thing. I know that was one thing where I mean I've had people come through being like, "Yeah, it's got co-op mode." Man, I wish it had co-op mode. Like,
apparently the co-op mode is just with the AI, as far as we know. Doesn't really seem
yeah.
like there's any. Which honestly is fine. Yeah, GBO2 if you want to do co-op. Like
I mean, honestly, I would like to see us get that AI mode on the maps in GBO2
with
anyway.
the improvement or whatever that's supposed to happen. Hopefully they do. Hopefully they implement it.
Yeah.
I think it's
So
just one of those things, and this is something that we talked about earlier too. Is that some of the different changes are definitely something that pertains to like this would just be harder to implement server wide,
yeah.
but doing it in a single player game where it's all self contained is just easier. So you don't have to worry about it, across like several different countries outside of just the initial release.
So I guess the other thing to kind of talk about, I guess, again, for speculation stuff, unless anybody has any links clarifying this, actually been officially said or posted. Um, like right now they've got the pre-order out over there, but we don't have anything yet. I'm assuming we're just gonna get one on a release kind of thing. Um, but yeah, it is kind of odd that we don't have anything up right now that we can get to. Although some people have said that they've seen it on the store. Um, kind of like also, can we screenshot
Mhm.
snipping tool? It's on Windows.
I think what they mean is just that it has the early announcement or whatever. Like I have the reminder set. We'll see what happens with that. It might just be one of those day one drops or whatever. It's interesting that they went out of their way to hype up all this stuff for SRW, but Fairy outside of the trailers, like you can't pre-order it or anything.
Yeah,
But it's also gonna be episodic, which I don't mind it, but I feel like that's an older like gripe that a lot of people have. A lot of games tried it back in the day, and it didn't end well for a lot of those in terms of them actually being complete or really having a lot of content for how much they were having you buy. There are some that buck that trend or that generally um, worked in an episodic format a little bit better. A lot of Telltale stuff and all that shit, right? But that might be kind of why they're being a little bit quiet. Like, oh, by the way, you're not gonna have the whole thing. Final Fantasy can get away with that, but maybe not Code Fairy.
sorry about that. Yeah. Try to catch all that. Like, um, I wish they would actually show or allow us to like all the boss fights that I kind of they would let us do that.
Like a throwback.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
I will say this too. Like I've been trying to go back to like the English side. We have anything we've seen on there we normally right, but
Mhm.
we've actually got an NA client, and normally if the certain trailers don't work or they don't show up,
It doesn't. It just stays
yeah.
blank.
But right now
So
we've
like,
got it in the base camp. We've also got a trailer for it, everything
yeah,
in there.
they've also done like website on the EN side, and
Yeah.
even the
So
EN Twitters announced it. So it's whatever.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just one of those things
For
like
me, there's just nothing to really speculate. Like it's gonna happen. Just fucking wait.
wait, yeah. Also, a lot of times best best practice. But I
It's
know.
only that's how they get you if you don't have the money.
Right? But anything else that you'd like to see from it, or you think that they're missing? Or,
It all depends. Like they have the parts from the base game coming over to that. I know a lot of people were hoping that there's going to be more customization. A lot of people just want this to be Crossfire, like a better Crossfire.
yeah.
Even JP side was like, "Yeah, it'd be cool if you can get your limbs blown off and have this whole engine going on and all this other shit." And it's like, nah, that's not what this game is. You know what this engine is. You've been playing it for like 3 years. Calm
Right.
down. But I think the bigger thing for a lot of people is that it sets a possible precedence for that happening in the future. And so I think even just on that principle alone, people are going to support this.
Yeah,
I
that's a
mean,
big
for
thing.
Christ's sake, Maniac bought SRW30 Ultimate like twice,
Woo.
PlayStation and PC, just so that he could capture it for stream and also just have it on theirs to support it on the stream page itself.
I
So
mean,
like Gundam fans are salivating. This is probably the most attention we've gotten outside of fucking toys in like a long time.
right? Well, also with this too, one of the things I was thinking is like if they went something like a next kind of thing, like we were talking about with
Hmm.
that. Like, I wonder if it would turn into like a uh,
Next to you having super robot crossovers would be amazing.
well, and then like I mean, just having like a single player mode for next two, where you actually get to play all the other suits, like a single player mode for GBO2 or something.
I mean, at that point, all I want is another Dynasty Warriors Gundam game.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. There was somebody in my chat that was talking about that. So I'm just like, I'm kind of thinking that, but at the same time, I want something in this engine that is also kind of like
You got
with like the
Koferi,
way
that's all
Gundam
you're gonna
engine is.
get.
Oh no, come on! I love this engine. I love
It's
this
never
kind of
gonna happen
gameplay.
again. You're never gonna see it for Wing or any AU stuff.
Don't
It's
say that.
over.
Don't say that. Free. um, but yeah, let's see. Um, yeah. Anything else?
No, that's about it.
Okay, cool. Okay.
There's a lot of Gundam things to get. You should probably get them. Have fun.
So real quick, I was gonna go ahead and start this first in the patch notes section. But do you have any thoughts on them banning people harder?
No, they should have been just ban them harder. Don't test the system, otherwise you're gonna be some dude on a forum like, oh, get rid of my. Well, like the bigger thing here, and I don't know if they've ever yet specified, is whether or not it's your entire like ISP or not ISP but IP, or you're just that one PSN account, and then you can just use your Smurfs. Because this is a game that's pretty rife with people using alternate accounts.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. And they said they're gonna do this every month now. They're gonna do ban wave, and they're gonna be really harsh. And also, they're tightening what gets you penalized now too. So, like, if you get kicked for meleeing your teammates, I wonder if that's just straight instant like penalty two now or something.
That'd be
Like,
hilarious.
it is kind of
Uh,
crazy.
fucking, I saw Zaku have like a fucking meltdown and like chase down his support and just straight up like hauled ass down, slowing him in front of like the entire enemy team and just like fuck you. And then like in on the second downswing when he was already down, he got himself DC'd. Dude lost his mind. But that's what I'm talking about though. Like there's some of it's trolley behavior, but some of it is legitimate like rager behavior too. Which is kind of crazy considering that they're just barely scraping the surface of like trying to make this a competitive scene kind of game.
Right.
So yeah, some of those guys just gotta go.
Yeah. My problem though still is when there's a DC due to connection and it's just like get wrecked kind of thing, and then your connection is bad for 2 games, so you get a penalty, and then the third game, and then you get a penalty too,
Mhm.
and it's like,
I wouldn't mind that so much if it wasn't for the fact that, like, ISPs have been so unstable for the last, like, couple of years, not only just because of, like, pandemic, but, like, remote work as well. So,
yeah.
there's, like, entire areas will either be down or go down suddenly, and there'll be a lot of intermittent blinkage.
Well, and then you have what is it? Then you have like the PSN having problems. You have their
Mhm.
network having problems, their side for the game. Then you have, who knows, maybe your ISP decides to be like mine and just randomly is like, no, we're not gonna be able to host custom games today because
Not
reason.
today.
So who knows if that's my ISP? Probably my. It's something between my ISP and their connection, sure. But I don't
Mhm.
know. Is it something on my side or is it something on their side? Which one's the one that doesn't like the other? Right?
Considering your location, probably both.
Probably a little both. Yeah, a little
Since you
column
had
A,
to
a little
have
column
them
B.
come there, like, several times, like, that's a whole story, like, in and of itself.
So like, you know, that's
But yeah,
my
like,
only issue with this.
I don't mind the harshness other than that. That really needs to go at this point.
And
Like, I get that levers should still be if it's through a report, then whatever, right? But
yeah,
some DCs you can't really help.
I mean, if they're doing it over and over again, they're gonna have a pattern of doing it. It's not gonna happen just like
Yeah.
3 days, 3 times one day, and then
You're
it's
also gonna be like, if they're
not gonna
looking
happen
at the
for a week.
viewer to, like, evaluate it, then they're gonna see, this guy getting his ass dumped on in the first round and, like, eating or
Yeah.
doing some other stupid behavior, smacking someone and then DCing himself.
And then also the other thing too is just make it a full loss. Go ahead, I'd rather, if, for somebody who wants to play the game, I'd rather derank 2 ranks than not be able to play completely, right? And if worse comes to worse, you technically go play space rated, get rid of it if you wanted to derank that one. Well,
Mhm.
wait, no, 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 sorry. I think it follows up in your next ground match. So never mind. But so if it's happening often enough, you're gonna get a loss for it, but that just means win harder. But
Yeah.
like,
I mean, regardless, you're gonna have to grind it off.
yeah. But I mean, I will take that over literally not being able to play because your connection decided to be bad. Maybe my connection was bad in the morning and then my power went out a couple hours later, which that has happened. I've gotten a penalty one multiple times, and I don't know when it's gonna happen. Maybe that's the sign, like my connection blinks and then the power goes out.
Oh
Maybe the
god.
reason why it blinks is it's literally the power going out down the road somewhere,
Well, at that point, you're just gonna have to check your grid or, like, force them to do more
right?
infrastructure.
So maybe that's what's going on. But like, as soon as that kind of thing happens, it's like, I don't know. When that's what's getting people banned, like can't play for an entire week, that's bigger. And recently, Sav had this happen. He couldn't play for 2 weeks because like he waited and then he got back on first game another week. So that's the other problem too, is you don't know what your connection's doing later, especially when
Right.
it's like PSN, your connection, their connection with the, you
I
know,
hate circumstantial shit, so talking about this gets on my nerves, but it's totally true.
yeah.
Like,
So
I don't wanna know anybody's life story, I just want shit to work.
right, but I mean, I feel like they should just change it and let the reports and them actually giving, issuing the penalty later be the way that if they'll do
Mhm.
that, that's I don't know. I've been saying this for the past like three. Every time they bring this up, I'm like, just change how you do it, please, because it's a problem now.
They get yelled at every time they adjust it too, so it's just like, "Bruh,
Yeah,
this is a known thing. It's not gonna be changing." I wonder if it's just because the guy that actually deals with it hasn't changed in the crew either.
maybe.
It's another possibility. Because they seem to be people have been talking about how they've been bending the knee on certain, like, additions and stuff, like, they changed the double Zeta, a couple other things have been changed and stuff
I,
since we've been aware of this, like, newish crew or whatever.
I mean, I wonder if that's just confirmation bias a little bit. Like, I
Yeah,
wonder
I
if this
feel
was
like
like
it is.
planned already.
I
Like,
also feel like most of them are still the same people, even if they're
yeah,
working on this different thing. And like, if they don't have like a lot of future content for Code Fairy, then like they're not going to be doing that for too long. They're probably still going to be doing stuff for the
right.
GBO side of things.
But
So
anyway,
I don't think it's as relevant as people think it is, but like it's still something to consider, I guess.
yeah. So next we have on the patch notes special step up, which I'm gonna go for because there's two supports on it that I really want. Prototype Stark Jigen and the full
Mm.
armor Hyakushiki. But not only that, it also has the Dija SER, the Z2, Gundam Mark 5, Double Zeta Gundam, Zaku 3 Kai, the GM Night Seeker, Space Type, uh, the Pool, the Faz, and they're all level ones of each of those suits. So
Ooh.
pretty cool.
Yeah, as usual with the level ones. On Gus, for me, I had pretty much all those. But for Ginny, who is a newer account, and specifically being a free account, I didn't mind running for that. That's actually where I got my that's actually where I got my Violent Custom. But the guaranteed suit for me ended up being the Night Seeker space. So I got two raids. The rest, unfortunately, was weapon tree shit. That's all I got was just weapons.
I just want one of the supports. That's all I'm asking, not the Faz. But
It's gonna give you the fizz.
we're gonna get the Faz.
Oh god.
And I'm gonna get a repeat period. That's what's gonna happen. But if it gives me the prototype Dark Jigen or the full armor Shiki, I'm gonna jump up and down. But yeah, really cool banner. If you don't really care about having a 450 raid or trying to go for 700, honestly, this is the banner I'd probably say go for most people. But if you already have all these, then it's not really uh, one of the extra enhancement points for some reason. So it is an 11th extra step you get, or 11 extra box. But yeah, pretty cool banner. Last time I thought it was really cool too, except for I got traded. I got the like one out of. I think there was only one actually repeat that I could have gotten. I got that. That was the Gallus J. 1 out of 10 chance I got it. A repeat.
Go figure.
Uh, but yeah. Anyway, um, talked about the double Zeta. We'll talk about buffs and nerfs a bit. Um, so the enhancement Hangar stuff. Now you can go up to 10 times.
You can
So
just stack it. Yeah.
yeah, so you can get
Finally.
right. You don't have to do it over and over again. I will say the benefit here too is if you ever hit that howling success when you have 10 stacks, then that's
Ooh.
essentially like getting 10 howling successes in a row, which is kind of ridiculous. So
Yeah, I mean, other mobile games and gacha games have done it because they love people blowing through their resources in mass. So
yeah,
this being a feature is part of the course, but again, one of those weird oddities that they just didn't have it for a long time in GBO2. So
but I am curious to see where kind of like after people play around with some of the numbers and stuff and try like where the okay, it's most efficient to use 4 times at all times or whatever, right? To see where it kind of comes out. But um, that's pretty cool though. I was curious. I was like, wait a minute. So is it going to be like you do it and then it'll just pop up 10 different results, or is it one result and then it just times it by whichever you get that time? Yeah, it's the cool one. You just get whatever you get that time, kind of. That's pretty hype. Um, let's spectator mode getting a buff. I can't. I said it again. Getting some additions. But yeah, the exam stuff, 80s, whatever. Whenever something is popped, it'll pop on the screen that somebody has used it, and then you can go over to that person and navigate to them and find out when possible if it's hitting the fan or something,
yeah,
and swap the camera for the spectator mode stuff. And
show them be
then
like, oh shit, he popped. Let's go.
also then there's the ace cameras where you can
Mm.
easily navigate to the aces, and also you can actually Oh wait, before it was still already red and blue, but after it's I guess less harsh.
Hmm.
Oh, it was okay. It was reduced visibility. Okay, so it was already color. I thought for a second I thought they just didn't have like it was just like all white text or whatever. I was like, what? How are you supposed to tell who's on what? But so that's pretty hype though. The fact that they're actually adding more features to this, that means they're at least going to be doing more stuff and hope get stuff. Hope
Probably won't.
probably won't.
We don't have a rep, so like that's not gonna exist. There are some people that were trying to do like tournaments and stuff early on. I think that already fell off though.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that are streaming now are relatively new, so they're still grinding rating and just like getting used to the game themselves.
Then we have Halloween Base Camp. We talked about the double Zeta and the trainer step or yeah, the special step up banner, and then the um premium suits this coming month. The first section is going to be the O. The second section is the Ghost Rider, and the third section is the Zeku Ain's Type 2 potential free one.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a stacked month right there. That's some big suits for first two sections there. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. um, pretty big to put those at the first two. I kind of wish one of those, the
Mm.
O or the Toes Rider, was at the end of the month.
Yeah.
But
Well, you know, they always like to front load it.
yeah, this one's big and spend that money. Next is the ticket shop stuff. So last week we didn't really get your old suit, which was weird. Now we got the DJ SER level 1 and 2 and the Rigelgu level 1 and 2.
Mm.
So pretty hype. The Doulahan also hitting the ticket shop as well, and then the Mudrock level 3 and 4. Not recommend the Mudrock, but literally the level 1 of every other suit there. Can definitely recommend in some way. I love the Rigelgu. I'm getting it free tomorrow, so I'm
Nice.
getting that. Um, but the DJ SER is one of those you don't have a dodge roll, but you have the infinite boost. Well, the overboost skill, so you can overboost things, and it has the offensive system now. So if you like a more melee with maneuver armor kind of style, that's the DJ SER. Um, definitely a solid suit, but it's not a play style. That's a whole lot of note for me. But Dulon, I think, still holds up pretty well. So if you want to get that too, it's also
Mm.
a 2-star. So is the Ryogyu, so they should be pretty cheap tickets wise compared to the SER. But yeah, what do you think of any of those suits? What would you recommend?
All of them are solid. Regelgu is probably one of the better just go tos out of that group.
Yeah, after the buff, it's pretty pretty awesome. Then the DP store gaining quite a bit here. The Zeta level 1 and the Xeon level 2. And then from there, we have Grandpa Gundam level 5. So you got the Gundam level 5, the early production Gelgoog level 5, and the G3 Gundam level 4. So, and then also the SCR hitting ticket shop. The price now is 156,000 DP in the DP, who's like cap, whatever. Okay, and then they had some unit adjustment stuff. Main funny thing here is yes, the Masala was big, and it had collision problems.
It's too damn large.
Other than that, I didn't really see anything too crazy. Um, they did change the name for the sortie order, where it's instead of the Operation Star 1. now have it saying emergency order.
Hmm. Your down barrage buffs and then
Oh, sorry. That was the bug stuff at the bottom.
okay.
So, clan matches. Then we have, let's see, 500 this week. Was this the one that they changed from 450 to 500? Or sorry, not this week. Sorry, next week on the 6th.
Next week. Yeah, I'm
My bad.
6.
566 basic impact site. Um, so again, that's a morning one. There you
Yep.
go. They changed the cost, which I find interesting. Curious on that. And then the one after that, the 14th, will be 550 4v4 simple tropical desert. Looks like they've still got the same symbol up, and the goof heavy type. Um, so yeah, have you seen the goof heavy type? What do you think of it? And what are you looking to do? Like, what are you guys looking to do for the 500 cost and 550 cost? And while you're doing that, be right back.
Oh Lord. Well, I haven't actually seen the goof myself yet. Um 500 we're still trying to figure out some practice stuff and all that. It's one of those situations where since it's actually spaced out by a week, we've been kind of chilling on the practice, just trying to get some more recruits and stuff. I kind of want the new suit. I also feel like outside of the shotgun thingies, I wonder if it's actually doing too well when it's actually like sorting out and stuff. I don't know if anyone else in chat in particular has really seen it in the wild yet. I feel like once we get past like top 40 or so, it'll probably be at least a little bit more common. But outside of that, um, mostly just trying to shoot for our numbers here. Ooh. Once we get the top 40, it'll be fine. Yeah. Top 40 or top 100. I kind of wonder because the other thing I've noticed is that we've seen a lot more of the goof flight type in proto or early, which has been a little surprising. That's one thing though. I wouldn't mind them having the hands on that thing also had the shotgun thingies for the sub weapon. I don't know if they're ever gonna retroactively get that. That'd be amazing. But I don't know. Fingers crossed that we can land it for the 40. We may or may not, but we have a couple shots at it here. I think as long as we keep up what we've been doing, we'll definitely get it for the top 100, but that's gonna be a couple weeks away, like deeper in the holidays.
Okay, I'm back.
And do.
But yeah, you said you didn't
So
really see
you,
the goof.
no.
Okay. The shotgun thing kind of interesting. I haven't seen it either, but I guess we'll probably talk about it next month. Hopefully we see more of them because then start getting to top 100. But okay, now let's go through the buffs and nerfs. So kind of just to cover the stuff that we had. Um, stuff that we
Alright.
had. My dog just knocked something. Nothing broke though. I think. Um, here we go. So last week or last month's stuff.
It's been a minute.
Quickly going through any of these that have been standout to you. Go ahead. Otherwise, I'm gonna speed run it like I have been doing. Um, Deegan got a buff.
Mm.
Um, pretty cool. I've seen it a bit more. Nothing too crazy there, but it is above average now. Nice. Damages went up. Easy 8. Again, I was kind of surprised to see this thing buffed, but again, especially at the higher levels, probably needed something. Man, that downswing chunks now. That can Ina harder than ever before now.
I think
Woo!
they realized that people were taking it into higher costs, like consistently, which is a little weird. And they're just like, all right, we're gonna have to actually fix this thing now.
Right.
Like, oh god.
Um, then we have the Zeta Plus A1, so straight into the raids. Now that thing feels amazing. I can highly recommend trying it, mainly because the hip lasers will actually stun in like 2 shots on most suits. So that, yeah, it's obscene. It's can recommend. Deja Sharwan again was kind of surprised to see that thing get a buff, and yeah, now its damage is gross. So
Hmm. DJ Char,
definitely,
I think, is one of those things where like sheer size and just like things coming out at its cost range gave it a lot of hard time.
yeah.
So it just
Then
needed
oh,
it
sorry.
needed an adjustment at some point.
Then we have the Vertex gaining a buff. Main thing for me, and I mean more it was a lot for just the level 2 stuff, but the double dodge roll was huge. Like gaining that double dodge roll, quick turn would be something that I hardly would use. Um, Sometimes it'd be cool, but a lot of times the double dodge roll is just something you can pretty much always use every situation. And then other base stats, pretty nice to have. Um, Guard custom got a buff. Check it out. It's good. For me, it's like always has been, but you know, I'll take
It's
any buffs.
definitely been out there a lot more lately.
Oh yeah,
It just has a lot more finishing power, which is definitely something that it needed.
G Line Light. I haven't got to try out much, but I've been
Mm.
seeing it a little more commonly, especially at 400.
Spiker's been liking it actually. He's been doing it at its usual cost.
Thought about trying it in space a little bit because I liked it in space early on in like Space Clan rank. Um, then we have the Beam Bazooka gaining a buff with the stun, which is insane. Um,
Mm.
and then its left, right, and downswing also gained even more damage. Yeah, that was hype. Gun Cannon Detector was another one that I was surprised to even see get a buff, but yeah, it's insane. So and now the damage on it is gross. The win rate and rival rate is gross. Check that out again. And then one that I really thought needed a buff for the longest time, the Peak Type 2 Amuro Ray. Yeah, it's actually pretty solid if you can not miss your shots. That's my problem
I
is
mean,
I
that's
miss a
still the
lot.
stipulation.
Yeah, I will say though, the transforming and flying mode is super smooth. But yeah, uh, yeah, that was last month. This month, so we pretty much talked about the double Zeta, so we won't really talk about that too much more. Um, but as you can see there, the stats that they had previously, below win rate by just a little over 2%, 5% less on the rival, and under damage. So the cool thing is it's not that bad under damage. So I'm hoping the damage is going to go up, but I'm curious to see if we're going to see a rival win rate, and I'm actually going to guess that we're going to see a mobile suit loss rate, and it's actually going to be there's actually going to be more of them blowing up. Is going to be my
Oh
guess.
lord.
Um, GM custom. So we talked about the mentioned the custom earlier.
Mm.
Um, yeah, the GM custom gaining that 1,500 health at all levels. The melee resist by 3%, going from 10 to 13. Close combat melee damage going from 10 to 14. Fast speed movement is going up to 190 from 180. The rotation speed is going from 63, and the increased speed from left to right is always a welcome quality of life
Oh
buff.
yeah, such a like super specific but very important thing for strafing.
Right. And then also counter motion change, like that, like you're swapping from thing. left to right or something. I'm like I have no clue what that is.
Probably.
So maybe that's but that definitely needed some help. It definitely got power creep. So, uh, and then the Alex is crazy now. 130 to 135 speed. Um, the Alex beam rifle going from uh,
Essentially, the counter animation was changed to a better one. So I don't know.
oh, okay. Let me go ahead and see what the Alex stats are. This is one that I definitely wanted to check out. Okay, so the Alex beam rifle, they actually put. I don't think they did because it's still showing 3 shots. So it'd have to be like a test thing. Got it kind of handy. I can go ahead and go into a practice quick. Um, but the rest of it, they also buffed the hyper bazooka, going from 6 to 8 shots. Um, the power from the beam saber went up by 100, pretty significant at all levels, and the Gatling cannon going from 10-second reload to 8-second reload, and also accumulated value of stagger as well. Go ahead and see what that like now. The main thing is it 2 shots now rather than 3? Because before it was 3. Um, even pull this up quick. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be playing the Alex, especially if it's 2. If this is 2, then this thing is seen.
Mhm. It's only the charge chat that got the better build, apparently. Was what Fury's saying.
And it would be really. So the charge shot is the only thing that got actually a better dagger value.
Mm.
I think I could have done a Cubile. I should have done it on a different map, so it doesn't just spawn a Cubile.
Did you do it in 3 on the Cubile? Or did you just do the
No,
charge
no,
shot on the
it took
Cubile?
like 5 on the Cubile has damage control.
Okay,
So,
good. Well, then that confirms it then. So it's just able to hit through like minor control and stuff.
but I was hoping it would actually have been an increase on what it was. Let's see. Um, the next thing we have the raid stuff. So the Mark V, it didn't really get much, but it gained maneuver armor level 3. So being the first at base cost to have it like that. I guess they gave it to the Virulent, so I guess they gave it to this. I think it had maneuver armor 3 at right? Or am I? No, wait, it had the dodge roll level.
Yeah.
Um, and then leg shock absorber 1, yay! So, um, yeah, I mean that's kind of cool, I guess. I was kind of hoping to see a little bit more when I first saw that, but next thing we have is the Gazelle, gaining 500 health, thruster going up by 5, and it gained double dodge roll now, and they also shortened the time it takes to cancel the fast movement after charge close combat. So heavy attack, I believe it is. Um, so that's pretty nice. That big, long downswing where you, um, yeah, it's pretty good that any kind of quality of life to get out of that.
Mm.
Also, double dodge roll. That's pretty nice. Have you played much of the Gaz? Either or, really?
A little bit of the L when it first came out. Typically it's not my go-to.
Oh. So about 5 Gatling bullets, by the way, after shots at the rifle and gun or 6. So
Yeah,
that's actually pretty nice.
that's pretty good for when you overheat. Otherwise, you should just go for the third shot.
Yeah, but um, trying to test this out, hitting a shield. Yeah, it's about it's about the same either way. I think it's about 80% charge. That was about the same deal. So that's kind of nice. Let's see. Then the next suit on the list is the GM Quell. Yes. So the GM Quell gaining 5 percent melee damage. That's pretty nice at all levels. Thruster went up by 5 to 5. 66 rotation speed from 60. It gained Assault Booster level 2 and the Shield Break Mastery. Also, the Saber increased combo compensation. I can go ahead and look that up real quick, but that so it doesn't have as much of a penalty for doing multiple. So honestly, I still think the GM Quell needs more. Saying
Yeah, it's just a mere quell. They're still touching on it at least, but you know, I wouldn't doubt that it would get some more.
looks like I'm seeing 170 to 49 now. Thing, so either it's higher than that now, or this thing was just like super nerfed. Oof. Ow. Okay. Let's um. Then the Unit 5 also gaining the shield break thing. Hallelujah. I'm just gonna skip to that part. Range damage was increased though at for another 5% range damage. Maneuver armor level 2 at level 1 and 2, and it gained double dodge roll at level 3 and 4, which is pretty hype. I'm definitely gonna be trying this thing out at base now because you can crouch, you can have that shield kind of in front of you, and you can deal your damage and not just get stunned for free out of it. So like you don't have to
Yeah,
actually lay
that's
down and stay prone to this Gatling. But yeah. Also left and right movement was increased as well, so same thing there. And I'm guessing it had the same efficiency as the combo for the GM Quell because it also went up, which it still had some pretty good like modifier or damage output I should say. So having this modifier actually go up should feel
so
pretty good.
apparently, double dodge is a lie. It's a mistranslation. It's actually a force injector level 2.
No. Okay, well, rip. So okay, still only playing, definitely playing the level 1 and 2. And sticking to the BSG at level. Oh man, it feels bad, dude. But yeah. Moving on though to the support stuff. My baby, my boy, he got buffed. Let's go, Dom Barrage. 1,500 health at all levels. Even more tank against generals. Let's go. It still kind of hurts. Right? Okay. I kind of feel maybe like I survived one more hit, but yeah, barely. Um, and here's the crazy thing. So in space, for sure, I could almost never hit anything with the Gatling. You know the problem where I was moving back and forth. We were both kind of strafing and doing the strafe thing with the heavy, and like you had 2 health, and I was just like blinking, and it was like, boom, hit him again, one more time, come on, oh, maybe I gotta hit him one more, oh, one more, and then you killed me, or and then you had like 1 health left.
That's literally, yeah.
Like that would be the same problem with the Dom Barrage. So now though, if I'm looking at you and you're anywhere in that ASL and like especially in the target uh, circle, I'm hitting you. So they reduce the shaking. It has a larger hit area for easier hitting, and a larger hit area so that, or I guess it doesn't collide with objects on the map as easy either. That way, you should be able to shoot kind of around little corners, and also your teammates is the other thing that that means, so that you can actually hit the enemy. So I was hitting a lot more shots. There was dog piles going on yesterday, and I was just able, like, while you were boosting the virulent, like I would probably hit you because wide, but I wouldn't have
Mm.
just been able to be like, I'm aiming at him and hitting him with every bullet almost. What?
Oh.
So yeah, like that was a big, like, anything that was boosting, I was still hitting pretty accurately. I was like, this is pretty good. So I haven't tried it in space yet, but I definitely want to. So it definitely feels good. Not the biggest buff, uh, but I'll take it. And the reason why I would say that's kind of, I mean, the next part's kind of cool. If you want to throw your missiles at something, can now, and it's a little bit more unforgiving, or a little bit more forgiving rather, um, because it could be pretty harsh if you threw them out and had to wait, kind of, essentially doing your combo backwards. But that's how you would break maneuver armor. Then you stun again, downswing, get like a raid off. Now this also increases their damage, and at the same time, doesn't really help with the comboing anymore. So, I mean, I guess it's throw it out and then it'll be back faster if you wanted to wait and hold everything so that then you could team stun and then go into the launch. So, that's kind of nice. So, 8-second reload time from instead of 10. Um, I don't know, maybe that one will grow on me to maybe feel that a little bit more, but right now I already had the timing down so much that I didn't feel much of a difference, but I still was pretty much playing the same way. So,
Yeah.
um, let's see. Um, Oh, also, by the way, on a side note, seeing some of these numbers of like it having a higher win rate at like 450 and stuff, I'm like, I wonder, man. Oh, let's see who else is out there in the Dawn Barrage. Let's go, guys! Rival win rate, yeah. But I'm also like, yeah, that's right, keeping the number up. That's yeah. So it's actually pretty close. The funny thing is the 400 is kind of the lowest one. But
Hmm.
I feel like I've been playing more 450 and 500 of it though too. So I'm like, I wonder how many Dom Barrages are actually out there in the wild.
Hopefully not too many.
Oh no! Oh,
Because I was gonna be like, oh god, do I have it at 450? No, I don't. Save myself on Ginny.
that's funny. Um, let's. Then the Methus Kai is the next on the list for a buff. Uh, Gaining 1,000 health. Also, sorry if you have any other thoughts on the Dom Barrage, but I think that kind of said it there at the
Oh,
end.
Isaac.
Hopefully there are.
Hopefully he
Uh,
doesn't get bullied by the Isaac still, because they changed the spread, but they didn't necessarily change the threshold.
yeah. So that's kind of the other problem is it does have threshold problems. But I mean now hitting more bullets you get more damage. So I
Hmm.
mean that's kind of what they did a little bit with the Zekuines. Give it a little bit more range and stuff. So Zekuines feels good for
This
the
is
Gatling.
true. So there was a video that I saw. It was a Pixie going up against a Barrage. The threshold on the missiles is still really good for when they're trying to close in on you, and the reload time being faster has actually been pretty nice. But the weird thing is that I don't know if this guy was toying with him because it wasn't an ace match, so it wasn't saving him for the turnover. But he got on the ground. He was really close to death, and instead of following up on his neutral, he stopped. But this guy did like a side swing out of his iframes and was able to like knock him over after doing like a stun and then just barfed his missiles and finished him off. So like it has faster output, which in a lot of those situations when you have to be by yourself and defend yourself, it will help. But that was very situational. Like that guy should have had him. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff like that with the suit like the Barrage. Just keep it in mind.
um Moving on though, the Methus Kai, gaining 1,000 health at all levels. I've been seeing this today. I feel it still has problems because adding damage control level 2 is nice, but still can just stun it. And then it has the heat rate for the high mega cannon going from 90% to 80%, which is really nice, and the level damage going up for both the full charge and the base is going up from 2835 to 2950. So I don't recall, but what skills does it have as far as like does it have the stabilize thing where it can be done while it's crouched? I'm gonna check that because
Actually, I remember.
if it does, then that's pretty significant. If it doesn't, then it's like cool for the damage control too, I guess. I'm not. Yeah, I didn't think it, but so that's kind of ripped. So that means any stuns that hit you while flying or any stuns that hit you while on the ground.
Not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just having damage control on a thing, it is nice when it does help, like on the Susa. But the thing
Yeah.
is, the Methus Kai doesn't really have much. What I would say that it
This
has going
can't.
for it.
Yeah, this can't fly. So like,
Yeah, there's that. You can't fly.
well, no, I'm saying like it doesn't have to worry about it as much
Yeah.
because it itself as much. It's literally just this little like shit nugget on the ground that's like pretty short as it is, even with the big thing like over its head. So it has its own clearance issues, but it also means that like on certain like slopes and stuff, people have a hard time hitting it all the same. But the method's kind. You're literally just yeeting yourself in the air to
Right.
do the rest of your damage in some situations.
Um. The same thing if transform mode. And then something that finally got another buff, which what I was hoping for eventually again. The full armor 7th got a buff. Yeah. So full armor 7th gaining ranged attack modifier going from 47 to 55. Actually, pretty big. That's level 3 by the way. Sorry. Level 3 gains 47 to 55 because it's still definitely well below the damage. Um, The main weapon is gaining 200 flat damage across the board, and they increase charge damage as well. The arm beam gun gaining increased ASL size, so kind of nice. And then the giant cannon on its back has 5-second less charge time, going from 20 seconds to fire to 15 seconds. Pretty big deal, but I still think you can have 15 seconds very few and far between, kind of thing. But I think we'll see it more at the beginning of matches, and then in like ace matches where there's that like wait, bond together, story together.
Yeah.
So
Don't get reckless.
um yeah. So anything else on those buffs and nerfs?
No, pretty good spread. Some of them are a little surprising. Hopefully they just keep it up. It's like a little. Some of it this time especially was like more just stats. But as we get more things, especially since we've actually been getting a lot of like mid to high suits more often instead of just like high like super 650 or 700 stuff right out of the gate. It's nice that they're balancing some of the older stuff and like still trying to adjust that.
Okay, so next on the list, new suit speculation. I'm gonna guess a 500 because they did the change of the cost of clan rank, but I have no um
Watch it be like another Sentinel suit or something.
yeah, at this point, I'm just like, now that we're getting like the Sentinel stuff, it's like, okay, we're getting more Sentinel things. What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What does that entail for the future? Who knows? But in general, we still have what? At least a whole other month until we really hit holiday. Like November doesn't really do anything for us for GBO2 because there's nothing really international going on. So the bigger thing in between is going to be us grabbing up the Code Pixie stuff. I feel like some of the banners, like a lot of people were saying that even the Nero here was kind of bait. What happened?
I've been doing it too. You just said code Pixie.
Oh,
I'm
Code
like,
Pixie. Oh God,
thank you. I'm not the only one because I've been doing it
Pixie.
too. I've been saying code Pixie. Like when I was trying to record, like literally the video when I was like giving my thoughts and doing the little like trailer reaction thing, I was like, okay guys, so today we're talking about code Pixie.
Whoops.
Stop, start.
Oh
Okay
God.
guys, today we're talking about code Pixie. I,
I
oh
fucking.
yeah, so I've
Did
been
you
doing
put
it.
that as a reel in the back?
I
That'd be
should have.
amazing.
I should
You
have. Just
should have.
I didn't want to go through all the like random video retakes that I just dumped in another file. I just hit a button and it just dumps, and I just eat them all out, and delete them at once at some point. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah. Sorry though. The we're gonna be dealing with Code Fairy coming up here. Red Pixie is haunted.
Yep. Oh God. But yeah, that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to some of the picking up some of the units in between. So I think they timed it pretty well. They're gonna use that more as like spacer. Some people were even saying that the Nero trainer is kind of a gotcha bait. I don't know. I think it's pretty serviceable. It's also cool that we have another lower cost like heavy attacking suit.
Oh yeah.
But I can see why it wouldn't really be for some people. Like it doesn't have anything super crazy. It has to kind of just work with what it's got in terms of like Nero stuff for the rifle and all that. So, but we'll see.
I mean, I like my grunt suits. I just wish the Gallus K did a little bit more than what it did, or had a little bit more output. But I do like them at the higher cost. Kind of cool. Like just thinking about the Gallus K. There's the Nemo 3. Like kind of the same thing as far as being front, and also it's kind of better.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can do any like rock back and forth kind of. Can you? Actually, now that I kind of think about that, maybe you could. If you can, then it kind of goes up my eyes a little. But I haven't seen anybody doing it, so I'm gonna say rip. Um, I guess because as far as what new suit at this point, we've got so much. I would like to see. I guess here's the thing. What would you like to see? I want to see more moon stuff, like maybe the actual moon. I'm
I feel like they're
really
gonna hold on to
surprised
some of
if they
that
did
for
that.
like holidays. AOZ just needs to start dropping stuff at this point.
Yeah, give us AOZ stuff, and also what I would like to see things well is just start adding more stuff to previous movies, like put in the Mark V stuff already. That's what when I saw the Mark V, that's what I thought we'd be getting. Oh wait, were they
Mhm.
doing it? But no. So yeah, well, I want to see them going back and retroactively changing things. That'd be.
No, we're not gonna get a J Decker Mark II from GBO2.
But yeah, anything like that that you would like to see, or just anything you would want to see them come out with here in a bit.
Mm, not really. I'm just wondering what they're actually gonna start pulling from until we actually get to holidays, because like I was saying before, there's gonna be a lot of Code Fairy stuff and going on in between, so we'll be getting like those other Zaku's and that other not Pixie. What's the raid? It's like one of the riders has like a scythe or whatever. Actually, I think it might be a Pixie, but just with the scythe.
Yeah, the red fix,
Yeah.
the haunting red fix.
So like those will be fine. Anything that we get in between then and holidays is pretty much just gonna be filler. Unless the big thing that I kinda hope is that they throw down another like 4-star.
Yeah, there
I
we
kinda
go.
wanted to set a precedence for like just throwing them down as like a separate thing, like in an event in and of itself. But we'll see. They have time. The fact that they still like even now are pumping out one a week is still pretty insane.
Right. But anything else?
I think that'd be about it.
In that case, you want to go ahead and do shoutouts?
Okie dokie. So Gustav the 13th, Gustav underscore X triple I. I am over on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, Lord knows where else I can put myself. Pretty much all social media, trying to keep up with all of it. Currently doing Super Robot Wars 30 alongside our usual GBO2 stuff. In fact, I don't know, we actually went kind of long today. I don't know if I'm actually going to do the part for today. I'll try to do at least a couple scenarios. But outside of that, once Code Fairy actually drops, we're going to be doing that intermittently between the different parts of SRW since it is going to be coming out episodically. And besides that, just hopefully we can maintain our stuff in clan matches in GBO2. GS3 still recruiting, by the way. So hit us up on the Discord and all that good stuff if you want to try to get in there. What about you? What you got going on?
Too many games.
This is true.
But yeah, as usual, links will be down in the description, social medias and stuff. But yeah, I'm EG Magnum. Um, I stream on Twitch. Got a Twitter channel. Word. Gonna be doing. Let's see. I'm pretty much gonna be wrapping up right after this. So um, we'll see what's uh going on tomorrow, as far as possibly maybe I don't know. I do need to find some time to do SRW 30, and also the well, Tarkov is having a reset in like a month, so I got to get stuff done before that, or at least finish up what I'm doing in Tarkov, or that's at least when it's apparently going to have one. I still need to get back to Diablo 2 and more with my character. Maybe I might do more of that off stream and just kind of go and be like, "Yo, here's this." New world things again at some point. People start catching up with group dungeons and stuff that don't have to do in the story. Um, Apparently there's the cycle, which is kind of like a Tarkov kind of game that I want to try out at least some point within probably this week, I guess. So I got to figure out a day for SRW 30. But dailies wise, we'll be doing Pokemon GBO2, and gonna be doing more Path of Exile because the league is amazing. This league, everything's hype. My build is going good with the poison flask thing where I throw poison flask damage. Yeah, too many games. And then I need to somehow try to find time to get caught up on Final Fantasy 14 and get ready for that expansion coming out. Um,
Hey.
I think that's about it. Also, I just looked at my desktop and saw, yeah, MechWarrior 5 staring at me too. I need to get back on that at some point. So way too many games. Luckily, a lot of the single player stuff you can kind of put off
Yeah.
till later, I guess.
Not to mention, 5 is old as fuck. Like that's not really relevant right now.
Yeah, but yeah, it's filler things, right? So we'll see. we'll stuff and things. Um, but yeah, too many games. It's pretty good problem to have. But yeah. Anyway, guys, that'll be it for this one. Let us know down in the comments what you thought about what we talked about this episode. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Later.